Hello Aries, welcome to your reading for the month of February 2024. My name is Wendy and I'm so happy to connect with you today. We're going to pull some messages and see what to expect. These are some predictions with a little bit of advice. I've been reading tarot for 16 years and in my free time I'm also a musician and visual artist. Aries. February 2024, we're approaching eclipse season and I can see that you're in between. I'll show you the cards in a second, but I can tell that the tides are changing for you. Something came in that felt very confusing. It may have imbued you with a lot of hope or with a lot of, maybe there was something illusory. There was an illusory quality to it, so it wasn't quite real, but it inspired a lot of dreams, confusion. It had a real Neptunian influence over you. And I see that you're now kind of in this in-between space. So I don't know if some of you have recently fallen for somebody or if you've had an offer. It could be like an offer for love. It could be an offer for business and maybe something that didn't quite follow through. Because what I'm getting is that there's an energy that was kind of push and pull and you're in between and you don't want to be in between anymore. So I do see you moving away from that in-between space, whether you have to stand your ground. Or just accept that this is not the time for the information, the conversation. It seems like there is a great chance for a healing conversation. There's a lot of reconciliation up ahead. I see peace, I see negotiation, I see you seeking sanctuary, I see you having a goal and having something really meaningful to move towards, something that finally is pushing you out of this in-between state where maybe you've had to juggle multiple jobs or you've been not really sure where your future was headed, where you were going because of some parameter around this was just not rooted in enough fact. It didn't have enough of a foundation, but you were wavering. So where is this all going? Aries, February 2024. Aries, February 2024. Okay, why don't I just pull the camera down for a second so you can see. Let me get my coffee out of the way. Okay, so Knight of Cups, Two of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords, kind of how you're coming into this month. And those are kind of the energies that are around you at the beginning of the month. As we move toward the middle of the month, you seem to have, like, this Knight of Cups softens. He puts on armor and he has to go into some kind of hard work. There's some kind of battle up ahead or an undertaking that requires strength and resilience. So that's why he's learning. And I think also you've maybe learned to not take something at face value, or there's a hardening with this Emperor as well. I do see a lot of friendship. I see you connecting to something from the past. And there is some kind of business opportunity potentially with an old friend or with something like a business opportunity, or you're looking for a place to live. There's some kind of connection regarding your money and your security, and it has a lot to do with the people you know, your connections, and your future business connections as well. I see you really kind of working to connect with people in a business sense. There's a strong masculine element here that is slightly domineering, and somebody is afraid to approach this Emperor energy, whether it's a father figure, a boss, somebody representing that power dynamic where they kind of hold all the power. They've got the world in their hands there, or they think they do. And It's kind of like this person has taken advantage of somebody's softness, because I see this knight being kind of naive, the Knight of Pentacles being somewhat naive, a little shy, and offering that pentacle, and it's softened. There's like a softer energy with that Six of Cups, and then the Emperor hardens it. So either you need to take something and make it stronger by putting boundaries around it, or having a real network, a framework, some kind of routine, or again, boundaries, something with like a rule book with that Emperor. It has to be very disciplined and orderly, a plan. This will help your business. This will help your sense of security. And maybe if you need to set boundaries with a certain person as well, that crust can also help. But I kind of feel like this Emperor doesn't know how to receive the flower from the Six of Cups. So he takes it and crushes it. Like there's something about that energy that is just overpowering and kind of crushes the softness of the situation. And then moving into the end of the month or the near future, you have the Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, and the Five of Wands. So there now becomes a little bit of struggle, or a bit of a fight, I'm going to say. A bit of conflict that inevitably comes with this scenario. There could be heartbreak involved, expectations. There were some kind of expectations. I think some of you are looking at the cost of independence, the cost of freedom, the cost of security. This Nine of Pentacles wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to live alone, or at least have a space that is entirely their own. So those of you in relationships, maybe living with someone or living with roommates or parents, you need to make sure that you have your own area that is entirely your own. A lot of you can do well at an entrepreneurial venture, but I sense that there is some fatigue with either from the body that's stopping you from working, or you have to slow down a little bit. There's kind of this cloud hanging over the situation, and it could be stemming from a lot of little hiccups, delays. We're also heading into eclipse season, so you can expect that something in your partnership sector will sort of be removed. By the end of April, I'm going to guess, given the eclipse season that we're approaching in March and April, I want to say that by the end of April, something about you and other people is changing, and it could be your relationship to those people, the power dynamic changes. I think that it's important for you to maintain grace and maintain your sense of dignity as we move into the end of the month, because whatever this heartache indicates, a lot of, people will be grappling for resources or fighting over what's left. I don't know if it's a family dynamic or if it's like some of you may have to sell your business and you could be selling off certain things. You may be putting on a happy face, but feeling quite vulnerable. And there is a need for revenge. There's a need for, like, somebody wants revenge. Somebody wants to deal with this heartache. This could also be someone that you feel you're in competition with, who looks, this Nine of Pentacles being in a beautiful space, well-established, independent, like dresses well, seems to just carry themselves very beautifully. And there's something about this person that represents competition to you. And I don't know what that Three of Swords and the Five of Wands, I'm getting for some of you that your partner may have some kind of regression or thoughts of the past, or they may be looking at their old partner online or something like that. There's a very raw emotion that comes out at the end of the month, and I don't know if fighting is the way to display strength, or if it's pretending that something doesn't, not pretending that something doesn't bother you, but acknowledging that it doesn't have to affect you as much as it might be. So you can kind of realize, hey, wait a minute, I have power in this scenario, and it doesn't have to go the way that I thought it did. Some of you need to renovate a wall. You could be erecting a wall. You may be bringing on a new person to work with you and you need to separate the workspaces. I'm seeing a lot of energy around boundaries, barriers, rules, expectations. And for a lot of you in business or creative projects, you want to figure out how to be different from the competition. So I want to get some clarifiers now. Show me the Knight of Pentacles. The Page of Swords. So you're having to dig your feet in, stand your ground. The ground was shaky, but I think that by the middle of the month, you will find balance again. You're going to feel strong. And it could just be to do with like covering your body in a certain way or wearing certain footwear, like feeling more structured physically that will help you feel less vulnerable as you go out into the world. There's something about armoring yourself. 6 of Cups. 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so there is a new work scenario, again, connecting maybe with an old friend or maybe someone you used to work with, or there seems to be like a training process showing someone how it's done. Somebody's learning the details. I do see renovations as well, help from someone with renovations. The Emperor is showing up as that 2 of Pentacles again. So this Emperor energy, maybe some of you are cross-watching for an Aries. That energy seems to be a little bit loopy, a little off balance, a little bit thrown, like they're kind of rocked right now and they're reeling from this feeling of being rocked. A lot of you could be recovering as well. There's this really in-between stage, but again, the way that we strengthen this is by saying yes or no, having clear boundaries. And if you want to break away from, let's say you're balancing 2 jobs and you want to focus on one more than the other, maybe it's your own business, then the way to do that is to drop that 2nd pentacle, focus on the first one, and really set up a routine and a plan with that Emperor. Like you really have to have something laid out that you can follow, that is a skeleton basically, or a map that you can rely on, because when you're in that chaotic sort of space of not knowing, the Emperor really helps because you can just look back at your notes and go, oh, I don't have to decide that right now. I already planned this. So it's easier for me to just get up and go. I don't have to like do that mental creative work all the time. There's kind of like learning the value of your routine and maybe restructuring your routine. Some of you may need to take more calcium, magnesium. You want to be strengthening your bones. Maybe you feel a little nervous with the energies that are going on, strengthening that foundation again in your body. So getting that calcium, magnesium, strengthening your bones and your muscles, regulating your muscle movement through magnesium intake. For real, some of you need to focus on that. It will help you feel more settled. Omegas for some of you with the brain. Something got really wavy for a while and now you're just coming out of it, so you're finding your balance and you have to kind of keep your eye on your prize and get to the shore, but you are getting out of choppy waters and now you're building something a little stronger so that water, that wavy water, doesn't affect you as much. 9 of Pentacles. Three of Wands. So you have an increase in finances. There's new clients, customers coming to you. You may get a tax refund, some kind of money or grant or something that people are watching you as well. There's something about being in the audience or being a spectator, watching this entrepreneur, this beautiful single woman, or this person who lives alone. They're receiving something. There's a lot given and received. So big increases for sure. 3 of Swords. Let's clarify the 3 of Swords. The Emperor. Wow. I don't know if you're missing somebody, or if there's a reason this person needs so much power. There's a reason that because in other areas of their life, or maybe previously in their life, they felt powerless. And so they may exhibit extreme ego or power tripping now as a way, because for them, that's all they understand. It's for them, it's taking their power back. And they may hurt others with this power. That there is I don't know, it could be the divine masculine, but there is divine masculine energy that feels wounded, feels vulnerable, needs a creative outlet, needs to not hold so tightly to control. For some of you worried about a father figure, this could be relating to his health. Some of you, it's a friend who may have betrayed you. Some of you are going to find out that somebody was not a real friend. This could create tension in some relationships. A card of advice for those of you worried about a father figure. Okay, High Priestess and Nine of Swords. So it's like worrying won't help. But I think that this person really wants some peace of mind. They want to... You're kind of choosing what you share with them and what you keep to yourself. They may need to read a book or consult some kind of spiritual text in order to help ease their mind. This person wants someone to read to them, to fill their mind with something other than this nightmare. And finally, this Five of Wands. Playing dirty, I heard Seven of Swords. So the thing is, when everyone is distracted by fighting over, like these people need leadership, right? And there's competition there and they need leadership. So this person is wise enough to sort of remove themselves emotionally and just look at what's happening. Just observe it as an outsider. And they end up either escaping from this conflict, or they end up with a resource or some information or something that they can use going forward. I don't know, there's an energy here that tried to get away with something, wanted to see what they could get away with. And I feel like they're having a bit of a harsh wake-up call with that. Because they thought they held the world in their hands, and they're realizing that that power is kind of not all theirs. So there's a shifting of power this month for sure. Let's get you an oracle just to close out the reading, and we'll leave it at that. Aries for February. Inner truth. So there's a lot of looking at yourself and being honest with yourself about why you believe certain things or why you act certain ways, and other people as well, seeing their inner truths, right? Really looking into the psyche of people. Aquarius Pisces season, February, is very much about the psyche and understanding people and how individuals are shaped and how they process emotions and what that becomes of them later in life. So inner truths of you and someone else. Look also with that boat in the bottom corner, like that the boat from the Six of Swords has finally found shore. So you will find shore, but you first have to go through this unknown land of like going through psychology and all these sort of winding roads of looking at yourself or looking at others and why things happen as they do. So there's a lot of honesty this month. The best place to be, I'm going to say, are these two. Those of you who are single and looking for love, you could be attracting someone here, a real person who wants to show up. Maybe you've been off balance because of people that have come and gone, and this is a very promising energy for love. It's very promising for money, so I look forward to that for you at the end of the month. Other than that, Aries, I'm going to leave that there. I hope you have a wonderful month, and my website is below for donations and personal readings. Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your February 2024 reading. My name is Wendy, and I'm so happy to have you here. We're going to look at some predictions, looking at the energies around you, beginning, middle, and end of the month. And right away, it feels like spring. I am feeling your birthday energy strongly this month, even though it's February. I'm specifically seeing a maypole. Maybe you're making plans for that for May 1st. So right away, you've got the Six of Wands, Strength, and the Nine of Cups. Wishes coming true, promotions. You may have to be patient though. Maybe that's why I'm seeing May 1st, because you can feel that something really good is coming, but you have to be patient and wait for another couple of months for it to come to fruition. But I am seeing promotions, I'm seeing wishes coming true, I'm seeing deep desires. But for a lot of you, there's also a need to resist temptation, to be the bigger person, and to not let your animal instincts betray you or lead you astray. There could be a little bit of a warning here that says be careful what you wish for. Four of Swords. So you're coming into this month feeling pretty good, feeling like your cups are full, your belly's full, and maybe sustaining that feeling, sustaining that energy. Like, what's next, right? Once I achieve all my goals, how do I maintain them? And you're kind of in that maintenance, stability, long-term, fleshing something out. I see somebody coming to the rescue. I see someone doing something because it matters to them, like acting from the heart, not because it gets them the recognition. Even if it's their job, even if it does get them some recognition, they chose this because it matters. There's a genuine person here who really cares. But I am seeing patience. And again, maybe for some of you, it takes a while for this accolade or this payment to come through, but it will. So a lot of you too having to put a lid on something that you were hoping for. Again, be careful what you wish for is kind of coming through. So middle of the month, you may have a little bit of a health issue where you have to rest or take some extra medicine. I do see it being a minor health issue, but I think it's relating to this Nine of Cups. So some of you need to protect yourselves better. Whatever various ways that can play out, whether it's through nourishment, whether it's physical protection, just be mindful that some kind of indulgence at the beginning of the month could lead to a minor health issue a little bit later. It's like a fever dream. A lot of you are kind of seeing some kind of fever dream. There's a bit of an imagination if you are kind of spending a little bit longer in bed. And the King of Cups. So there is recovery, there's healing. Somebody could be materializing by your bedside. They might be visiting you by your bed. Someone that you love, someone that you want to see, somebody who is comforting to you. And I'm strongly feeling a water sign energy there. I see you listing the ways or listing the reasons for something. let me list the ways I love you. Let me list the ways I will take care of myself. If you're in recovery of some kind, you could really be needing to journal or write down your schedule, your whatever type of healing is taking place or self-betterment. You are needing to write it down and keep track of your progress, because you'll want to look back and see like how certain things lined up with, like, it could be trigger points with emotions. It could be addiction recovery for some of you. There's a need to just, when you feel like indulging, you journal instead, or you write poetry, or you read a book. Like, you're kind of retraining your body chemistry to feel more peaceful. And I'm seeing the importance of grounding techniques as well, because there's kind of this anger management, I'm going to say, that I feel. And I don't know if that's exactly what you're dealing with, but it's that idea, like, it's something that is learned over time, and it is going to take a lot of time to retrain the primal reaction, or to learn how to take a minute if you are feeling that primal reaction. This month does feel very primal for you. It feels like it's very sexually charged, but it could also be angry. There's a lot of that raw sort of emotion. Something is held apart. Like, these two cups, in order to heal, these two people with the cups together need to separate. They need to break apart. They need to unwind, or become, like, they need to run parallel. So they never touch. They can be beside each other, but they can't become entangled. And there needs to be some kind of distance. And I feel the gravity of that. I feel the gravity between those two cups. And the King of Cups is really working to keep those cups apart. But I think there's some decision that you've made that you feel really good about. And you have to trust that. And you have to trust that the way that it makes you feel, because the best decision will give you peace. And this could be a big awakening for a lot of you. There's something you feel in your bones when you go to a place like a lot of you could be visiting. Whoa. Some of you could be visiting a mausoleum or visiting a resting place, and you feel the energy. Like, you really feel, you might even, I'm seeing a story, like an old Navy story, an old sea story. Someone who either, I don't know, they lived long ago, and there's something about the ocean. So the middle of the month feels very spiritual, and I love that energy in between Aquarius to Pisces season. Personally, it just feels so beautiful, poetic, musical. There's just something very spiritual about it. It's cleansing, but as we do move toward Pisces season, we do all become a little more vulnerable to certain influences, like our bodies, our health, our hearts. So there is that need to look out for something that, like, you might just want to sit something out because you know it's not really good for you. Toward the end of the month, as we move into Pisces season, you've got a lot of energy in your area of friendships and peers and volunteer groups. Okay, we've got the Death card. It's a need to release. Release, release, release. And something from the past could be coming back. There's an awakening of some kind. There's an old energy that's awakening for some reason. Knight of Swords. So if you are feeling low energy, if you do run into, like, if you have a cold or something, you will be picking up speed in the end of the month. And I see that there's a lot of messaging, there's a lot of action, but you're going to totally change your mind with what you thought you had to do. You're going to realize, like, I just see you totally changing your mind and realizing you don't have to go back, or you don't have to Because I think that there was a reason you were, I see Scorpio energy, you were trying to go back to reclaim something, to rewrite the story, to reclaim power, something about having to go back and get something, because you really, underlying all of this is it was your way of having some kind of control over the situation. And there could be some kind of harsh lesson, it doesn't have to be a harsh lesson, but maybe just more of a realization that, wait a minute, if I let that go, then I start to actually free myself from this entanglement, from this feeling, from like, I start to set myself free. Maybe I don't actually have to do it the way I thought I did. There's a different way for me to have power in the situation. And it's, for one, to accept that something is kind of done and it's changing, but also that I don't just hold on to the past and look at like, oh, it's over, okay, but I'm also looking toward the future and knowing that I can move forward. So a little bit of a shift toward hope. And I feel the light change as I say that. There's a shift toward hope. And the Seven of Cups. So we don't know where we're going yet. If you don't know what to do, then sleep on it for at least one night, maybe two, maybe more. But sleep on it and clarity will come. Try and ask people their opinion as well. Like if you're struggling with something, they will help you realize you don't have to do that, or you do have to do this. Like you can rely on people to help guide you. And I do see a total change of direction. I do see a little bit of fatigue. I see a little bit of I don't know, somebody might be at risk of power tripping. Like the Six of Wands kind of becomes the death energy, where they thought they were doing something good and they went in with good intentions, but it ended up requiring a lot more than they thought. So it's like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to do that. Like there's some kind of toxic, I want to say, or bad influence that comes in the middle of the month, and you really have to know what you believe in, what you've already decided. You've already decided how far you'd go, or what you would do, what you wouldn't do, because somebody gets a little greedy. Somebody gets a little greedy this month, and so this may completely evaporate things. It may completely change the course of where you thought something was going, but you have to do what's in your heart. You have to do the right thing. Do we need any clarifiers? What is the death energy? Tarot's like, do you get it yet? So death with the Eight of Cups. Now, I don't think you're going to have closure necessarily here. You're going to have to walk away. Like I said, you can't go back necessarily to refill all those cups or fill those cups. It's more like you wanted to, but maybe you couldn't. And you just kind of have to look at reality that way. Like death can sometimes be that harsh reality check, as hard as that is for me to say. It can just be that harsh reality check that says you can't go back. You have to move on. Even though you don't know what's around that mountain, you might be alone now, it might be scary, or it could be a big adventure. But whatever is slowing down is also picking up speed. So the wind is going to come and lift you a little bit, and it's going to feel more possible to start moving forward. What's this Two of Cups? Show me the Two of Cups energy. You're just walking into the unknown this month. Like it really takes a turn. But I feel a lot of us are kind of feeling that. Two of Cups for Taurus. Two of Cups for Taurus. The King of Pentacles. So this either has to do with food. A lot of you need to eat better foods, or not be tempted by earthly pleasures like beautiful clothing, expensive things, spending money. Maybe there's something relating to your job and something just feels a little bit off. And you may think, oh, but it pays really well. But someone is very indulgent. So either they're eating the wrong foods and it's actually harming them, or they're spending too much money, or the job offer or the environment is just a little toxic. Some of you may want to start growing remedies. You may want to grow herbal remedies, start a garden of some kind. There's an experiment with energy and healing and how you can be hands-on with that. It could be futile, but let's try to clarify the Seven of Cups in terms of advice. Okay, Seven of Pentacles, wow. So choices, 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 next steps, investments, what do we do? If you don't know the answer, then you don't have to pay, you don't have to make that investment. Something is not clear. There could be an illusion with where you owe money. There could be somebody trying to get money out of you. There's some kind of trickery or illusion taking place around your money and around someone who wants an answer. For others of you, the options will become real. You'll sleep on it and you'll be able to, like by the end of the month, you'll kind of see where certain things can lead. But maybe at the beginning of the month, it's not as clear because your head's not clear, right? You go through this transformation in the middle of the month and it's going to take some time to recover. You have to kind of come back down and settle down and like, you know, digest, so to speak. So one more thing I want to say is, if you already know what you want to invest in, don't waste too much time by being distracted by other things. Like, oh wait, well, what about this? Or maybe I should have done this. Like, go with where you are now. Don't go with who you thought you were 15 years ago, or you went to university for one thing and that's what you've tried to stay true to your whole life, but you really want to do something different. Like, don't have guilt about where you've previously been, because this is a totally new stage and you're allowed to become something different now. Taurus, I think I'll leave that there. I hope you have a wonderful month. If you would like to donate to my channel or book a reading with me, my website is below, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Gemini, welcome to your reading for the month of February 2024. I wanted to say September, so something about that 6-month axis, I don't know. Your full moon? No. Why am I confusing you for Virgo? Changeability. There's something about you that's becoming more earth-oriented. Little pieces. Fixing something. You're fixing something. Something that you're criticizing, or something that you're noticing details that need to be I don't know, something about that energy. Virgo. Magician. You share that with them, and Mercury. There is a full moon in Virgo this month, so perhaps that full moon in Virgo could be big for you. That's your 4th house of home and family, your roots, where you belong, the root system, and how everything grows from there, but how hidden it is at the same time. Let's pull your cards. Gemini. Strength. Even the cards, there's a need for patience with wild energy. 5 of Pentacles. Being patient with weather. 8 of Wands, being patient with someone who is not there, so to speak. Overcoming your difficulties. In the beginning of the month, you seem to be overcoming your difficulties. by believing in something better, by believing that you can move past this and seeking, searching, putting out resumes, connecting with people, looking beyond your immediate situation, looking beyond who has said no to you, whether it's a job or a bank or people. Someone has said no to you, and you're now going to extend your scope. 8 of Swords. Things are going to start to move quickly. You have 3 8s as well, so there's definitely this permanence, this master builder. You can create a physical structure, you can build something long term, but it may require an immediate sacrifice for the long-term success or long-term gain. But put yourself out there and don't let that 5 of Pentacles get you down. Because going toward the middle of the month, you're having some wish fulfillment. Justice. Something is working out for you. Something's working out in your favor. Balance is back. So finances, the social setting, also where we've mentioned having to look at new groups or new places, like that's justice. That's the process of looking at all possible evidence, let's say, information, and then being able to make a decision based on a well-rounded view. Because coming into the month, the view is narrow. And this is someone who you have to be patient with them. Maybe it's a friend of yours, or it's a lover or a child. They believe that the world owes them something. They keep feeling like the world leaves them behind. And there's just a need to break beyond what they see immediately or what you immediately see. It's almost like they don't want to, or you don't want to at first, because as much as this is not healthy for someone, it does become a safe place. It becomes a reason to not participate, to not try. It becomes a reason for sympathy, right? People give sympathy to the 5 of Pentacles, and so the receiver of that sympathy can, well, this is the only time people pay attention to me, or this is the only time I feel like people notice like something about me, so maybe that's what I have to be all the time. Getting out of that mentality, like no one is an island, but we can certainly, we don't need other people to define us. We don't need other people to give us everything. Sometimes we have to take that opportunity. So that's where the energy really changes, right? They don't want to see out of it at first, but then there's some kind of bonus or benefit that comes through, something that makes them happy, something that is more fulfilling. The answer is to look inside and see what makes you happy. The way to make this decision is to see what fills you with joy and what really sets you free. Because when you go toward more of a joyful feeling, you're going towards something more authentic than something that you think you have to do, an obligation, right? That has chains attached. So it's hard to feel fully joyful inside of an obligation. And I think that a relationship has been very one-sided. A relationship has really been, I don't know, finances could be troubling you as well. Maybe you don't have money to travel, you have to wait to travel. But like I said, you have justice more toward the middle of the month. So as we start to move into Pisces season, you can start to feel this hopefulness and reconnect to that watery side of you that is very emotional. There's something about a person's weight as well. They're concerned about their weight, because I am seeing something with the scale and nourishment. So maybe this person doesn't know how to fill their cupboards because they've only lived in struggle. But whatever was lacking is now being filled. It's balancing out toward the middle of the month. And you're going to start to feel like you're in the right place. You're with the right people. 4 of Wands. So there's a celebration, there's a dress rehearsal, or happy, some changes at home to maybe the decorations, or shifting the energy, opening the curtains for the first time. Like, I'm really seeing someone who's been in the dark for a long time and they need to lift the curtains and dust things and move things around and just refresh the energy, because the energy is so stale. So toward the end of the month, there's a celebration, there's a foundation being set, there's something real. Your energy is more sustained. The Hermit. There's more interesting how that 5 of Pentacles becomes the 9 once you reconnect with your soul. There's a meditation, or there's some, I don't know, a class or something, that a video you hear maybe that connects you with your higher self. And once you connect with your higher self that way, you feel a little more guided, you don't feel as alone, and you kind of remember what matters to you, what motivates you. And then we move into the 9 of Cups. And then once we reach that soul fulfillment, and we let it be known to ourselves and to the universe, then the Hermit, we're more okay following our own path, doing our own thing, leading by, not necessarily by example, but we have the wisdom should others want it. There's an older, wiser sort of energy that has traveled the path before, and I don't know, there's someone who just loves being at home alone. They like being in their bedroom. They like kind of being, like almost locked up. Like they're willingly imprisoning themselves is what I feel. It's going to be very hard to convince this person to outstretch their arms and reach the sun. So in that sense, how do we meet someone where they are? How do we meet someone where they are? And we find their talents, their skills. Maybe they have a certain, I don't know, I'm hearing that someone has a certain aesthetic or a certain mood that can actually be good for a business. Like I'm seeing an entrepreneur, a business here. Things are starting to look really good. You're starting to get money if you have started your own business. You get your own students, clients, customers. Things are starting to work. They're starting to pay off, and you're realizing like this is all me. You have 3 8s and 3 9s. Wild. So you have 2 of the 8s from the major arcana and their minor representatives. That to me is kind of like parents with children, or your higher self with the reality version of you. Like there are branches. That's pretty powerful though. This is a big month of transformation. It's a big month of having to trust yourself and endure, and perhaps be okay with being alone in your view. Somebody wants to retreat home. I think it's important for you to have a space that is your own, like your own studio, your own room, something that is your own space that you can have just to yourself. Someone has to say goodbye to someone or something. They don't want to, but they have to. And it takes a while for them to adjust. I do sense kind of a childish or childlike energy here where they're learning about separation. For some of you, you may have guilt following your own wish because you have obligations to others. But at the same time, if this person never wants to accompany you and never wants to follow you or support you, then you kind of have to, you don't really have a choice. Like, this is kind of the energy where there's people that have lived together for a very long time, but they live very separate lives. And I'm seeing the energy of a child again, that, or a grown adult, like someone who's very isolated, doesn't leave the house much. Because they feel in control there. That's the place where they have control. They might also be a little bit of a hoarder or have a lot of items that they like to covet and sort of collect and admire, and it helps them feel in control. And that's okay. We all need to feel safe at home. We all need a safe space. But I think it makes it harder on the other people around them who have to deal with them or tiptoe around them. This person is happier with their eyes closed. Or they hide. They may not have their eyes closed, so to speak, but they hide a lot. Like they might, like their hair is over their face, or they have like a hat, or they kind of disguise themselves. They kind of like being mysterious. They like having a little bit of this. It's not magnetism, but they want people to wonder about them. This person is holding on to something very light and insignificant in the greater scheme of things, but to them it's all they've had. It's the only thing that's ever given them power. So I feel like this person needs to apprentice with someone who can kind of guide them, or take some class or apprentice with somebody or learn. They need to be learning something. There is a specific skill they have, but they're very particular, and it's hard to coax them out of hiding. You might be happy to not be part of a celebration. It's no more the fear of missing out, it's the joy of missing out, right? So it's either you or somebody you know. And it's totally okay to be the hermit. I'm not saying that you should not be that way, but I just feel that there's an energy of a person who lives with other people and is really draining or causing some kind of conflict or struggle within the domestic setting because they refuse to help themselves or receive help. And the people around them are accommodating, but they can only take so much. Some of you are trying to get something legalized or made official, and you just have to wait a little bit, but there's like paperwork that you need signed, and then everything is kind of, you can go back to living that more like isolated in the country, kind of like humble sort of lifestyle. higher ground. So you got to move up and look at something from a different perspective, a higher perspective. Take the high road, don't give in to temptation. You can reach something better. Well, Gemini, that was a little bit of a heavy reading, but I hope that it was helpful in some way. If you'd like to donate to the channel or book a reading, my website is below, and I will talk to you soon. Hi Cancer, welcome to your February 2024 reading. This is going to be a mix of prediction. We're going to look at how you're coming into this month, what's coming up in the middle and the end of the month. I'm going to do a 9-card block. 7 of Cups. So how you're coming into this month. Knight of Pentacles. How you're coming into this month. Cancer, how you're coming into this month. 6 of Pentacles. An opportunity is disguised. An opportunity that you knew was there, but you couldn't, it wasn't clear enough, or it wasn't fleshed out enough. The facts weren't there. It was more of something that was thrown haphazardly. And now it's starting to become real, and it could slow down your finances, but at the same time, it represents a little more permanence. So I'm seeing that you want to kind of pay for something, a service, a landscaper. You want to look for land, look for a house, look for a property perhaps to settle down. But it's kind of like once the dust settles, the Knight of Pentacles is there. Excuse me. The Knight of Pentacles appears, and there's this offer. Now, I'm hearing for some of you, you have to be careful because at work they're asking you to take on a little more responsibility. Sorry. They're asking you to take on a little more responsibility, but it may not pay equal to the work that you'll be doing. It's like, we'll give you $1 an hour for all this extra stuff that you have to manage. So you want to cautiously go into this offer and look at, what is it worth? What are the facts? Show me if you're buying a store, like what's the history of this place? What are the sales? What does everything actually cost? How long has it been sitting here? Because you're thinking about buying something, investing in something, but also what will you get out of it? Is it worth what they're asking? And then you want to think about, do I have to go somewhere else? So I see that relating to either taking over a business or moving. Some of you could just be evaluating your property, having your property evaluated. Some of you are slowing down with, helping someone, because it's like you've been giving money, but you don't know really where it's going. There's a lot of uncertainty with where these resources have actually been going. There's just too much confusion or lack of clarity. Somebody's not forthcoming. They might actually be a workhorse. They might be doing exactly what they say, but they're not showing you the results, or there's something that you just don't trust. So I feel like you're going to kind of stop helping. Knight of Wands. Okay, so toward the middle of the month, the energy's picking up. I do see perhaps some travel or a change of location. You are waking up excited about something. You feel purposeful. There's like this new, once you pay for a service or you invest in something or somebody hires you, and now you're like so excited to get up in the morning and get into action. 4 of Swords. Looks like a sexy middle. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. Someone is awakened. Something is awakened in the middle of the month. see you writing out the plan, journaling. Just for some reason, writing things down, having a list is very therapeutic. It's helpful. It helps you refer to something later. It just feels good to write things down. And Seven of Swords. So there is a time of research. I don't know, I'm feeling for some of you, you got to be careful. If there's a love interest that appears, they might be in and out. They might be like feeding on the emotions of Valentine's Day, like, oh, I know Cancer is romantic and they're gonna want to be with someone, so that's my chance. I just don't know if they stick around. I get that it's kind of in and out. I see somebody acting alone, and in some cases I am seeing a thief. So if there's something about theft prevention, loss prevention needs to be looked at, especially for those of you in business. Going toward the end of the month, you have the Eight of Cups. So there was something you had to leave behind. You're escaping. A lot of you are escaping somewhere. You could be going on a little trip. You could be staying in a cabin, taking a long weekend, something romantic like that. Others of you need to make an escape from this job, from this, I don't know, relationship, this place. It just, like, you're getting out of there. And there might be something that you have to leave behind. But there is something gained. You know, it's not a loss because you're moving towards something better. So toward the end of the month, you're kind of packing it in and moving on and accepting, like, well, maybe I don't know the full story, or maybe they'll never pay me back, or maybe I'll never get what I thought I would out of this. Some of you may have really had your hopes up with something, and if a person is not budging, then you just have to walk away. That was interesting. It hissed. That was very interesting. I'm just going to turn this around. And I think that candle, having done that, is a huge synchronicity for this reading for you, Cancer. You know, something is snuffed out and it'll never be there again. So, weird how candles just disappear. They get eaten up and they disappear. So, what else is coming at the end of the month for Cancer? Ten of Pentacles. So you're walking toward your legacy, something that's more long-lasting. Something before was just kind of paying the bills, but maybe you were living month to month and it wasn't very good. I feel like you're wanting to invest in something now, something real. You want to reach out. You want to open that conversation. You want to the candles seemed excited at that, and they kind of match the two wands here, right? The two candles. So this is the time to invest. This is the time to take something to that next level, expand. A lot of you may be thinking about having children, having another. How do I improve my business? How do I improve my legacy? A lot of you, it's in sitting and observing, like spending some time by yourself on the outside and observing, just watching how things are done, learning from others, or watching nature. There's a lot of deep stuff coming up at the beginning of the month that deals with karma as well. How we feel valued and how we try to make others value us by giving them more and more and more. I just don't like that. I don't know, someone keeps trying to get away with something, or they ask for more than they need. You might think that you're helping someone in a dire situation, but they might really just be spending the money on something like frivolous. there's a hard acceptance at the end of this month that there's just some things you don't know, but there's such a strong intuitive pull at the same time that you're trusting what you don't know. You're trusting your intuition to lead you. Like those of you who collect and want to finish a collection, those of you who want to change course, follow, like if you wake up that day and you're like, I have to go here, they have that thing that I'm looking to, like the last piece, or I really want to go to this business today, I think something is waiting for me there, and like you talk to the manager and they hire you on the spot. There's something really important at the end of this month that expands your legacy, and you're kind of, maybe some of you are writing your will for the first time, thinking about like looking at patterns and looking at how something will be manifested when you give it or when you decree it. It starts off as a feeling and now it becomes real. How does it manifest? What's the realistic way that this can expand? Like, what is my next step? I'm just going to pull a couple clarifiers for you. Show me the 10 of Pentacles. Wow, 3 of Wands, High Priestess. A lot of you meant to be doing spiritual work. Silence is golden as well. There's an uncomfortable social setting or you have felt hurt by somebody, so it's kind of important for you to let them reach out or do the talking, okay? There's somebody that's a little distant and they might be coming to you now. You're receiving money. There's someone coming to you. People are noticing you. And so whatever you're investing, whatever you're putting out there is manifesting. It's working. It's actually showing that you will receive. And wow. 2 of Wands clarified by the 6 of Wands. So promotion. Do I want to be here a long time? I've been here for 10 years. I deserve a raise or a promotion of some kind. Like, what have I already proven to them? And what else can I do? What more can I do? There's kind of this expansion because you are a cardinal sign. I don't think you're satisfied necessarily with staying put. And I know that there is currently a lot of talk about just flowing and letting things be. Like, why do I have to expand? Why do I have to push? A lot of us are happy where things are, but you are a cardinal sign, and so you always naturally have this urge and this inclination to move on, to move forward, to grow, to innovate, and essentially then change. So that's being satisfied by the end of this month. There's a big opening and a chance for you, but you may have to decide. I'm hearing that you may have to decide between 2 things, and I'm tasting clementines. So you may have to decide between, like, do I take a risk and do this whole new thing, or do I stay where I am and just get like a $3 raise? And just an example, right? You kind of have to weigh up. To me, I feel like you kind of want to do something new, something that's more suited to you, something that feels more purposeful and aligned with you. But it's up to you, really. There's an opening. And you are taking it. So that's wonderful. I think I'll leave it there. So if you'd like to book a private reading with me, my website is below. And my books are wide open currently. I'd love to read for you. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, the link is below as well. Also to my website. So Cancer, have a wonderful month, and I will talk to you soon. Hello, Leo. Welcome to your reading for February. Right away, at the beginning of the month, you have the 8 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. Leo, February. My name's Wendy, and it's so nice to have you here. 10 of Wands. I've been reading tarot for 16 years, and in my free time, I'm a musician and a visual artist. So, You're walking free and you're going into some scenario. It's like an uncomfortable social setting, or there's something about this month that is very heavy for you. That could remind you of a person you've lost, actually. I'm feeling like this month kind of carries some heavy memories with it, heavier energies for you, a lot that you're working through. Some of you are coming away from family or some kind of obligation that it just feels heavy. It feels like a lot to carry, but one nice reassuring thing is that you're starting off the month this way and you have 2 10s. So there's definitely an ending of some kind, and I want to say a lightening of the weight, a releasing of some kind of burden. Now it is satisfying to finish something and having put in a lot of effort. But it kind of feels like at the end of the day, you still take a lot away from this. It doesn't just stop when you walk out the door. You carry it home, you carry it with you. You're going through some doorway and it's heavy. And no matter, it's like when you were lighter and empty-handed, it kind of, you felt like you were able to trust your intuition more. You could listen more to your natural guidance. You were more in charge of like where you felt you needed to be or where you wanted to be. And I don't know if you've been looking for a little something else, but it seems like it adds so much weight that you can no longer listen to your inner voice. And I think this is from some kind of social dynamic or a place that you've been for a long time, or in-laws. There's something about age that's related to this as well. So again, I see in-laws, or maybe, I don't know, I'm hearing people that live in your building, somebody who's older than you. Maybe you help them, maybe you encounter someone that you want to help. But really, this beginning of the month kind of marks the beginning of the end of some kind. It's an achievement. There's an achievement, but there's also a heaviness with this day, this title. You're going to wish you hadn't listened in. Some of you are wanting to listen into something, and you're going to wish that you hadn't, because curiosity is always a weakness, right? Like, we want to know, but you kind of have to look at the weight of not knowing versus the weight of knowing. Both are equally heavy. But when you do know at the same time, wouldn't you rather know that truth? But I think the frustration comes from having to get the truth this way, because it wasn't given in the way that it could have been. It could have been much more open. You're hearing about plans, you're hearing about something that just, you're witnessing your partner on the phone being frustrated or something, and I think you just are carrying a lot. You may be an empath, and that's why you kind of tend to keep to yourself, because when you are around other people, you really pick up on their heaviness. You pick up on, and I don't know if that checkerboard pattern is significant to you, but you pick up on their energies. And I don't know, you seem to be carrying some kind of guilt, or some kind of, like, you might be tempted to look at someone online, or again, listen in somehow, but all it does is make you think more about it. And you were better off, I want to say, in the 8 of Cups, but that's an energy that you're carrying with you. And let's see what Let's see what happens in the middle of the month. Leo. Leo in the middle of the month. I'm hearing there's still a lot of work to do. And you're kind of going off to solve mysteries, or think about these mysteries and investigate or explore something and see how you feel through it, and then bring it to the people. And you come away with more questions. Okay, so middle of the month, you have the World and the Devil. So there is a big lesson. Now, first of all, you have huge energies of finishing, completing. There's something big that is completing. But Saturnian lessons, Saturn return, things like that, karma, some kind of temptation, something about the public or other people is making you heavy. You're trying to quiet the noise of the world. There's something about time. Capricorn energy is very strong. Time, routine is important, structure is important. Whatever this goal is, a lot of you do have a big goal, and I think that routine will help you get there, but it does have to happen incrementally. And there's a finishing of a project, and there's kind of a choice about where to go next, and that's where, like, more visibility comes with more responsibility, is what I see. It's like even up here, like as soon as you hit that 10 of Pentacles, there's more responsibility. As soon as, like, a lot of you could be taking on a family business or working with a big company, a big corporation, and there is more responsibility. But it has better rewards, more material payoff. Because of the greater group, Hierophant, because there is a greater group, there are more people involved, there does have to be some kind of like discipline or routine, like rules that everyone kind of follows. I'm seeing structures changing, physical structures, systems kind of changing. You feel like you're obligated to these people, but are you really? There's a big relationship, and this came up at your full moon too. These exact cards came up at your full moon. You may want to go back and watch that reading because you are still closing out that moon cycle, right? And Aquarius season is so much about your partnerships. So then you're going to move into your 8th house, which is these big binding relationships, financial ties, love, marriage, in-laws, taxes and jobs and loans and things like that. The way we have to connect to so many moving parts to make this dream come true. But it also adds a lot of responsibility and work and maybe stress about making ends meet or finding the right people for the right job. Some of you may be struggling to find your own place in this world. That becomes more apparent as Pluto is in Aquarius at the 0 degree. It's a critical degree. And so it's a new era, but in order for that transformation to take place, first, Pluto's going to decimate certain things. And there is a relationship here of truth versus fear. Where we think, like, there's an illusion of power with the devil, but there's true power with the Hierophant. There's a taking back of the power. And it's realizing that nobody owns you. Nobody has power over you. Nobody has chains. Like, you can break free. And if you are in a place right now where it feels like you have to just put your head down and work really hard, then having faith in something bigger, or having friends and having a connection to bigger outside of you people, that can help lift your spirits until you are able to break free, so to speak. Something could happen here where you go to an event, because there's definitely a big emphasis on social dynamics with this world and the Hierophant. There's definitely something about other people, and it's important for you to be with people who believe in the same things and who unite for a purpose, right? We're all here for the same cause. The devil may be we're all just here for money or for work, but the Hierophant is we believe in something. Like, we want to move from this physicality, emphasis on material things and material success and illusions and consumption, to more of this true expression of self, this authentic. It's more in the Aquarian themes of ideals, beliefs, how we connect to other people, how we connect to the world, how we see the world. It's, if you're dating, I mean, it's very important to talk about these things with people so you feel less alone, less isolated, because for some reason right now you are alone in your suffering, and you have to talk to other people just to either lift your spirits, but also see different perspectives and remind you that you actually have strength in this situation. For some of you, I'm tasting mushrooms. Don't know why. Fried mushrooms coming through very strongly. The relationship with the body here as well. Time, where we talked about maybe something with aging could be kind of on your mind, but there's greater wisdom that comes with that. But with the devil, there's always this trade. It represents the theme of trade-off, right? Like, I get greater wisdom, but I'm relating to my body in a different way, and I'm showing up to the world in a different way. And it's so bold to just show up as you are. Why was I smelling mushrooms? Some of you may need to eat them, or the smell reminds you of someone. I think that the middle of this month represents a significant date that is very hard for you, that is heavy, that represents fear. It could represent loss. It may be a connection to a friend or some friend group. There's something that's kind of, there's a cavity left where it once was filled. Some of you may just be getting dental work done, right? There's something about your body and feeling strong in your body. I see you with more visibility. I see you potentially traveling and needing to travel with someone you trust, and needing to be with someone you trust right now, because you might have fear if you do it alone. You might be feeling alone. Like, wait a minute, I believe in something higher. I believe in something bigger. But it's also very helpful to incorporate a spiritual practice into your daily life or into your weekly life. So having some kind of ritual or routine that you tie in to your schedule that really helps you ground and find your faith again and find your way. Don't feel pressured to make a choice just based on what's presented at that time. Like, don't worry that this is the only, like, for those of you that are dating, you might be settling for something that's not really true to you. You don't have to do that. I've got lipstick or something up there. You don't have to do that. It's important to be somewhere where you are choosing, not because you have to. A relationship of power has become obsessive, it's become domineering, it's become dark. And a lot of you, it is time to leave. It's run your, the world, you've seen it all. You've seen it all, and some of you have been there before. So it's still scary, but it's not as scary because you remember, wait a minute, I've been there before. You can survive anything. You can survive this. Trust me. Trust me, you can and you will. It's going to take faith, but remember who you are. Remember what you stand for. Remember that you are loved and supported. And that your faith and your idealism and your contribution to the world is far more powerful than this devil, this egotistical, gross, power-tripping bully. There's a lot of social pressure this month. And I think, like I said, there is kind of this feeling of a cavity where maybe you want to take on some kind of task or responsibility, or maybe volunteer so that you don't feel empty or powerless during this time. You're not left just thinking about it. You might be like contributing to that cause, or again, if it's somebody that you lost, like if there was some kind of illness or something, you could donate, or you could volunteer with people that also live with that. So there's definitely possibilities here, but in the middle of the month, there is some kind of heaviness related to social pressure, social dynamics, and maybe a group that is not really well suited to you. And it's hard because you're just there to find belonging, right? We're all there to just find belonging, but there's a feeling, there's a lack of safety, I feel. Somebody just cares about power and money, and they might even pretend to be pious to the world. They might pretend to have worldviews and philosophies and values, but when you really strip them down to their core, and you x-ray them and you look at their heart, it's cold. They just want money and power. They've got their own stuff going on psychologically, but that's not for you to solve. You're here to save yourself. Okay. At the end of the month, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, the Queen of Pentacles. The Magician. And the Knight of Wands is kind of peeking out, but I'm just going to take the three that I saw first. So I'm seeing better mental clarity coming, greater strength, greater stability. You are still kind of on guard, but I think you're recognizing that the battle's over. Your scars that's how much time has passed. It's a scar now. It's not a fresh wound, but you're still very afraid. You're still kind of looking out for something. You're waiting for someone to, like, the devil energy can mess with us, right? Because we think now that everyone just has ulterior motives, or somebody wants to trick us. A lot of you, though, could be coming into contact with someone from the past. You might run into them at the supermarket and not really know what to say. But there is kind of this shy approach. And this is the end of the month. So there's a very interesting journey with where you feel like you fit and who you're interacting with as the month goes on. Now, at the end of the month, there's a shy approach, but there's a kind person who I'm hearing was misunderstood, because they're standoffish, and there's a transformation of this energy. You maybe feel a little more positive about it. You're transforming. The end, more Saturnian Capricorn energy, more of this steps, fixing things, maintaining things, taking care of, it's routine based for sure. I see an emphasis on your health. I see you physically working harder, and maybe looking for you're looking for something that will give you the best result, give you the most reward, give you the best benefit, right? The most fertile soil to plant your crops. And so you could be looking for a place to live. You could be working in real estate or getting into it. For a lot of you, the end of the month relates to your job as well, but there's something far more powerful. It's like, now that you've gone through the Hierophant, you gain this exoskeleton of the Knight of Pentacles. You get stronger, and then you feel like you can tackle anything, and you're hands-on. It's important for you to keep your hands busy and tend to things little bit by little bit. And now there's a total energetic transformation where you are expressed, you are powerful, you're shining, and there's so much passion and beautiful love coming from you. Your wounds are healing. Some of you may actually need to see a doctor or see some kind of healer who can help heal you. There's a need for tending to the wound, but it will turn around. It will turn around. You will get stronger. You will get healthier by the end of the month. Things turn around. Performance turns around. Whatever the rewards are, they're coming to you at the end of this month. I've only been talking for 20 minutes. I feel like I've been talking to you for hours. It's amazing, this trip, this journey, this trip through time. It's like time really expands for you in February. So it's the shortest month, but it could feel very long because of that devil energy. Like that is an energy that just weighs on us. It makes us count the time. It makes us, because it is so much about rules and discipline, we're so aware of time and everything related to that. But I'm seeing a total healing, new energy, new flowers, new abundance, new passion. Everything's in your corner by the end of the month. All the resources are yours. And it keeps growing. You know, whatever you are pulling down and putting into the earth, like whatever this is that you're growing, it keeps growing, because you can take something from it, whether it's money or it is a crop or it is some kind of product or you're working on herbal remedies or whatever. It yields a result, and you can further invest back into it, into the business, into yourself, into the garden, or use the salve or whatever, and then you can grow more. So it's going to continue to grow. Something is really good here. But there's a big completion this month, and there's a really hard look at power dynamics. And you were tricked into thinking that somebody owned you, and they don't. So no matter how much this company pays you, or nobody owns you, so you can change at any time. And I see a grounding happening here. The energy is very grounded, but it's very it's hard. Stay with your group. I heard stay with your group. Don't be alone. And you're going to come back transformed. There's a look for something that you want to invest in, do something with, a raw material, a raw resource, and you'll be able to turn it into something beautiful and make money from it. There's something about your career, your performance, like very, very beautiful. So Leo, I will leave that there. I hope you have a wonderful month. If you would like a private reading, my website is below, and I also take donations on the website as well. It's listed with the readings. Thanks everyone. I hope you have a great month, and I'll see you soon. Virgo, welcome to your reading for February. Your opposite season. You have a full moon this month, and right away I can see that energy is building. So I'm looking at the beginning of the month right now. You have the Ace of Cups, the Eight of Cups, Virgo, and the Ten of Cups. So the beginning of the month is very emotional. There is a hard look at something. There is a blessing in disguise, but something is reaching a pressure point where it can't be ignored anymore, and it's building up to this big, almost blow up. I don't want to say that word because it sounds very extreme, but that is what it feels like. The Ace of Cups is intense. It's a huge pressure point, and pressure has been building. Something also has kind of it's been building up to this. And then it's going to reach a point where it expands, it bursts, it overflows, it gets out of control. It's enough. You have enough. And you have to walk away. You don't even have all the answers. You don't know what it means, but you just know that all of a sudden the energy changes and you feel totally differently about where you were. This could be your work, it could be your friends, it could be a place. Something is completely changing. Now you do have the Ten of Cups in the beginning of the month, so it feels like you go toward those people for sanctuary. But something seems to be very emotionally heavy. I don't know if it is something to do with Leo, I heard. They just had a pretty heavy reading as well for some parts of the month. If it's something around family or loved ones or memories or something spiritual like this, sometimes the Ace of Cups can also indicate when somebody has passed on, when we have lost somebody, they become ethereal, right? They become spirit. And so there's this presence that's not seen, but they're there. But it does manifest as deep emotion within us. You're changing. The beginning of this month, there's something about you that's changing, and it does feel like relief. It feels like, you know what, finally, like my stomach has been in knots for a month, or I've been, like something in your body has been, you've been resisting and it's manifesting in your body, right? It's pressure building, and then finally it's just, okay, now it's done. I can relax. It's over with. There are some new beginnings ahead, and I don't really know what that looks like yet, but I trust. And as long as I can always have a home to return to, and I can have friends and family that I trust, then I'm okay. So I'm looking for that. It's like raining and then the rainbow comes in the beginning of the month, okay? So that's a lot happening in the beginning of a month. It's a blessing in disguise. And at the end of it, you'll be glad for it. It's meant to happen. Okay, second week, I guess, middle of the month, kind of moving more toward Pisces season. We have Justice and the Ace of Wands. So there's a balance. Balance is restored after that big burst. There's really been a look at who you are inside. And I think some of you may feel like you've neglected certain parts of yourself in order to fit in or to appease someone. I don't know if it's a partner or a new group of people, but there's a very deep look at who you are and who you've left behind. There's a reconnection with people that are really, truly in your corner, people that are truly meant for you. There's a reconnection with them. Because whatever this Ace of Cups is, something that it's just not as fulfilling anymore. And you connect back to yourself in that very deep way. And you start thinking about certain people again, and you kind of miss their company. And then you find a new beginning where you feel supported, you're with the right people. Middle of the month, Virgo. The power, the balance begins. There's a new light. There's a new life in the middle of the month. 5 of Pentacles. So it's important to light your own fire, light your own candle to guide your way through the storm. Because you may not be able to find guidance, even through the people that love you the most or that you love the most. What I'm feeling here is that only you can know what to do. Now, it's advised that you ask as many people as you can, and you get all the information, all the resources. But I think it's like there's almost a warning light that says these are not the people for you, or this is not where you're meant to be. For some of you, there's also a balancing or a new beginning when it pertains to your finances. So a new job, some new money coming in order to balance that finance. But there does seem to be in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the month an overarching awareness of lack. And it's hard, right? Because Pluto has just gone into Aquarius. And we know Aquarian themes are all about our ideals and our friend groups and who we connect with and how we see the world. But when Pluto is there at the very beginning, Pluto decimates things, right? It blows things apart. It breaks things down, and it looks for the authentic. It looks for the bones. It breaks through everything else and looks for the truth, the raw bones, the very essence of something. So that's kind of what's happening right now. There's these buildups and these feelings of decimation. And you're kind of left like, what's left, or who's left, or where do I go from here? Some of you may be inspired to help those who need it. Toward the end of the month, you have the King of Pentacles. The Five of Wands. There's a lot of competition for an opening, or for a loan, or for a grant of some kind. I'm also seeing somebody learning old-fashioned ways of working with fabric, and they're like beating it or tattering it, or like they're purposely in the middle of the month, whatever you need to balance yourself, you will find. It's a crutch of some kind. It could be a book. It could be an inspiring story. But there's something that inspires you, and it's a crutch. Some of you may actually need crutches to balance yourself right now through this healing process. And the Knight of Cups. Somebody is too soft for this environment. Somebody is, and this could be relating to the very first few cards as well. Someone is too soft for the environment. It's too competitive, it's too harsh, it's too masculine, or too indulgent, or it's like it's too, there's just something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable when it should just be luxurious. So the Knight of Cups, recognizing that he's too soft, moves away from that. And these little hiccups, there will be some delays or hiccups at the end of the month that are kind of testing your dedication. So you're going to have to adapt or change shape. You're going to have to adapt or change shape to go into this, to be able to move past these hurdles. You kind of have to become water and take the easiest path. Why don't we get some clarifiers for you? Can you show me the Five of Pentacles? Temperance and the Four of Pentacles. So you have to moderate your spending. You have to hold on to some money, save some money. That's the thing with this temptation of the King of Pentacles, like the beautiful fabrics or more clothing or more like the fancy foods, that you need to maybe moderate or simplify things for a while and resist temptation. And again, a balancing of the finances. This could be relating to a house move. Not taking part in something until you have healed. And your the reason you're going to start attracting different people once you change inside. And once you realize your worth and what you do and don't want, what you will and will not accept, you start to attract different energies to you that are more aligned with your angelic self, right? Because you've been through this big change, and now you can start to see the rewards. This is also somebody who has learned to stay in the corner, to not share, to not talk about themselves, to not participate, because either it's exhausting or people don't. It's exhausting when you try to put yourself out there and people don't receive you, or they don't really jive. Like, they can be nice, but if they don't have the same views, or it can kind of be exhausting to just feel alone in a group of people. So there's a lot of layers to this message, and there are many different messages coming out. But around the middle of the month, there is this angel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's something that balances the scales. The King of Pentacles. Somebody's learning about their body as well, expressing themselves differently. King of Pentacles, we have the Four of Wands. Perhaps some new bedding or a canopy or something. Work is important too. There's a new foundation in work. You've also got the Devil, the Fool, the Six of Wands. You may have to appear innocent and naive in order to avoid the wrath of this devil. Work seems to be a place of stress. It seems to be a lot about indulgence, and I think you're just wanting a bit of a break from the pressures of status. You're just wanting to be free and learn, and you're breaking free from these chains. The Five of Wands. Clarify the Five of Wands, please. King of Swords, King of Cups. Someone has to stay true to what they've said, what they believe. There needs to be healing as well. Resistance of temptation, resisting temptation. If you've already decided that you've healed from something, you have to keep saying it. You have to say it out loud. Feel it. Trust it. Truth. Truth is here. Truth feels good. Stomach settling. Speaking your mind. A big conversation that needs to be had. Relief from this conversation. And the Knight of Cups. I'm free to explore again. I'm free to change shape. Oh, there it is. The Lovers. And the Star. And the Six of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles. Bless you. Okay, let me pick all this up here. Okay, we have the Lovers, the Star, Six of Pentacles, the Ace, and the Seven. That's quite the spread. So things are balancing. You're going to be free, but you're moving into more of like less involved, less money. Maybe you're going into more of a research phase where you're a student and you're not working, you're not making as much money. I do see love. I do see destined love. I do see destined partnership. I see investment, stability, a new seed, a new foundation. But I'm also seeing that there could be some temptation with an outside figure. It's either important for you to act alone. I don't know, if you have a business, there could be someone who's like taking money from the tip jar or the petty cash fund or something like that. And I'm tasting cinnamon. So there's something relating to needing to watch over the cash flow, but also taking on another job or something that you say yes to. This is going to lead to a better financial future where you can then feel more independent and break off and do your own thing. Big reading, big energies. Virgo, that was your reading for February. I hope that it was helpful. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, I would love to read your cards. I'm available. My website's below. Thanks everyone who has donated, who has booked readings with me, and I will be talking to you soon. Hi Libra. Welcome to your February 2024 reading. My name is Wendy, and I've been reading tarot for 16 years. It's my 4th or 5th year on YouTube. Nobody cares about that. Hi Libra. Welcome to your February 2024 tarot reading. I hope you're all having a wonderful new year. I hope that things are nice and peaceful where you are. I sense a little bit of an energetic pickup this month though as I'm pulling these cards. How are you? Are all of your dreams coming true? It seems like the beginning of the month, you're really challenged to show up, to take action. Things are going to intensify or quicken. The pace really quickens. And there seems to be more of an effort to communicate. But there's a lot coming at you, so you're going to have to discern what's worth your time and what isn't, because with this energetic increase, you might overcommit, and then when it comes time to actually execute, it might be very difficult. So I do see a change in direction. I'm seeing a change perhaps of passion or purpose. It's like something is really exciting you and getting you out of bed, and it seems like you want to show up as your best. It's important for you to show up as your best. So some of you could be maybe changing the way that it could be the way that you look, it could be a physical thing, but because there's such a strong energetic shift in you happening right now, it kind of isn't like the physical is a natural result of the inner world feeling better and aligning more truly with your path. There's like an inner fire that is burning, and it's so hot and passionate. Some of you may hear from someone that you don't want to hear from. It seems like there could be, in the beginning of the month, a little bit of anger, maybe some arguments or some conflict relating to, I don't know what it's relating to be honest. We can clarify these. It's like you have to fight for something, and you have to use your words and action. So your action has to match your words, and that is the way that you will find success here. It's how you'll show that you're serious about something, is when your actions are following your words. But interestingly, it looks like the action is actually coming first. So the action is happening first, and then the words follow. And maybe that's better. Maybe it's better to do something and then talk about it, or to then sort of announce it, or you don't want to talk too much about something because I feel like that will deflate the balloon. So there's a Jupiter influence here as well, which is nice. But I think that talking about something will deflate the balloon before it's done. So Jupiter is more of a fiery energy, wants to expand, wants to grow. There's a lot of passion here. So the beginning of the month, I'll just show you. You've got the Knight of Wands, 7 of Wands, Knight of Swords. But again, I don't know, I think you might be in a whirlwind. Things are about to get really busy for you, Libra. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it all. I'm not telling you to say no to everything, but I think you have to first honor your initial commitments to yourself. And then there seems to be further opportunities for adventure, connection, conversation. It kind of seems like someone comes to the rescue as well. When you feel like you're fighting alone in your corner, you actually have a lot of support around you. I want to clarify this Knight of Swords. because I hear some of you saying that you feel alone and that you don't believe that someone would come to the rescue when you're fighting alone in your corner. There is support. And it could be relating to Aquarian themes. It could be relating to some kind of volunteer effort or a cause or a class that you're in where people are kind of choosing to be. So they naturally want to defend you because you stand for the same things. And if they don't, I guess maybe it's too scary for them. They're not ready. You know, sometimes we have to really look at our expectations when it comes to how much people can show up for us. So the Knight of Swords is clarified by the Ten of Cups. So this shift of direction is relating to family. There is a lot of messaging relating to family. There could be some conflict or arguments or drama relating to family or very close friends who feel like family, but essentially a place that feels like safety. I don't know, the place that feels safe might change for some of you, where it's like there previously where you, maybe there's something about your roots in your fourth house happening here, where previously you felt, or you were supposed to feel safe here, but the energy was really chaotic. Like the energy is very different from Libran energy here. And this is where Libra has to be careful because you are the scales. You can be swayed by the wind. You can be swayed by what other people are talking about, what other people think. It's important to get a well-rounded view and get all the possible information when you're looking for a decision. And it's okay to be careful that way. But I think that something in your past environment felt chaotic, and I think that you might actually be breaking away from the roots. Toward the middle of the month. Okay. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers. So somebody is really holding on to their energy here. Somebody, remember we talked about feeling alone in that corner? Now I think that saving your money is going to be helpful. But I'm seeing also that your home life could change where you physically live. There is a house move or a change of residence. There's a deep possessiveness in the middle of the month. So around Valentine's Day, you do have the Lovers. But there seems to be something that someone's holding on to. They're not forthcoming. Maybe they owe you money. Somebody feels guilty. There's a debt to be paid, but somebody keeps procrastinating paying this debt because they don't understand energetic security yet. They may not be into this kind of study. They may not understand karmic energy or karmic debts. Is that not symbolic that there's a little speck of something on my shoulder? Kind of brush it off. So this person doesn't understand karmic energies, and they are prioritizing the material plane. That must just be a hole. I'm sorry, that's a hole. Yes, it is. This is an old dress. They're prioritizing the material plane with new things or status or something about having to keep up with their peers, something about collections, something about having things to admire. But really at the core of this, somebody feels powerless, and the only way that they feel powerful right now is by holding on to something that should be given freely. Again, they don't understand the karmic energy of give and take, of flow, the openness of the Lovers. A lot of you, there is a feminine family member or an aspect of you perhaps that feels quite threatened emotionally. And I'm hearing then the possessiveness rears its ugly head. Cancer energy could be an influence here for some reason. I'm hearing micromanaging too. I don't know if some of you are feeling micromanaged at work. Again, there's an energy that has nothing better to do but to sort of like micromanage others, or it's trying to hold on to power in a way that is actually further diminishing their agency, because they're shrinking themselves into this corner. On the surface, something may feel happy, jovial, open, breathable, matched, paired, balanced, beautiful, growing, flourishing, bountiful, fruitful. But I do feel that under the surface there is less movement. But that's okay. I don't know. Is it okay? What I'm seeing is whatever's under the surface dictates the movement of what's on top, not the other way around. The wind doesn't stir the bottom of the ocean. The bottom of the ocean stirs the wind. Neptune, I was just reflecting on this the other day. I think that Neptune is the true god. I don't know if I need to say that out loud, but because things are born of water. There was a whole thought process behind it, but there's something about it starts in the water, it's born in the water. And so therefore in our waters and our emotions and our spirit and our health, that dictates what moves on the surface. And remember, you have a lot of movement on the surface. The wind is picking up and it's changing direction. So don't resist it. You want to go more with this lover's energy and flow with it and let the wind show you, change you, pick you up and land you. I feel that there's something incredibly synchronistic and meaningful happening in the middle of the month. All month long. I think Aquarius is very freeing. I do feel that this season feels like home for myself. I love it. I hope that you do too. So try not to, I can tell that there's still something unresolved that affects you emotionally. It could have happened in the past. There could be some memory of the past, or somebody's name pops up, or there's, again, a message that sort of bothers you or demands something of you when you feel like you've already given so much. So in that case, if someone's asking something, I feel like you need to hold on to your resources because you're just finding your balance right now. And I don't think you can afford energetically or financially to give. First, the balance or the debt has to be paid. And this atmosphere of rain, I mean, it's winter for me, and it's probably +2 Celsius. So things are melting, and the sky is gray, it's overcast. It does feel like a rainy day, but it feels a little more like late Pisces season. So there's a real atmosphere here. And this Queen of Cups is kind of that anchor creating this atmosphere. Now, she can be protective, loving. I don't think she has bad intentions, but when the Queen of Cups is negatively expressed, or when she's not heard or not respected, then her intuition becomes anxious, nervous energy. And so this can manifest as a person showing up in your life who needs a lot of reassurance, someone who only shows up when things are going wrong and they need something from you. They're very closed off to the world, so they don't show up much. However, in a positive, the Queen of Cups can be deeply feeling, understanding. Water can hold that space. It's constantly evolving and rebirthing. So it's able to hold the emotion, it's able to hold the energy and filter it and cleanse it so you can give to the water. Some of you, maybe you're given a treasure, maybe you're given something beautiful to covet by a person you love at Valentine's Day. I don't want to get your expectations up. Set those expectations now before that day comes. But maybe that's part of it too. There's something about expectation and the expectation to give versus receive. Somebody wants to move, somebody wants to change, but they don't want to admit it. They feel it deeply inside, but they don't want to say it out loud because holding on to that admission is the power that they see. They don't realize, again, how much power you have when you say it to the universe, when you start to talk about it and just express that wish, express that desire. You've made it known. And now all of a sudden, other people may have the connection. The universe hears you. It's pretty amazing how quickly, when you put something out there, I'm going to tell you this, when you put something out there, how quickly it can, if you're ready. So let's move along to the end of the month. I will be doing a mid-month check-in for all the signs. But I do want to read to the end of the month. February, Libra. I heard I'm not ready. Oh, and look, the Nine of Wands. So there's definitely this continual story of defensiveness with the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Cups. Like, I'm not ready. And that's okay. You have some healing to do. Currently, you are in the process of healing your wounds, and you've had to take that time out toward the middle of the month. Maybe that's the gift of that energy, is you finally have time to heal. You have the time to rest. You're kind of still looking over your shoulder, though. You're like, when's it coming? There's a little bit of a fear that something is coming back, or you're looking for a signal. You don't know how to address someone or open a conversation with them. It's important, once you put up those boundaries, to keep them up, okay? Because again, being the scales, sometimes words can sway you. A good human story can sway you, and I just think that right now it's important for you. Maybe you need someone to tell you it's okay to keep those boundaries up for now. And I see you working more on like changing your passwords. If you have moved house, or you've changed jobs, or you've changed something about access, you need to change your passwords and just update the security around you. But the wounds are healing, and you're seeing yourself as strong. You're seeing yourself as accomplished, and like, it's kind of settling in, like, oh my gosh, this happened. I made it. You could have a chance. Some of you could be running into somebody from the past. I feel like the past is kind of in the present with you this month for some reason. I don't know if it's a nostalgic time, or if there's just something about the Aquarius energy of connection and forgiveness, and the Pisces forgiveness. February seems to bring the past. So you could make amends with someone, or you could just say hello to someone that you haven't said hello to in years, and it just feels good to be able to, hey, as you're walking past them, let's say, you don't have to stop and divulge your life story, but it feels good to not have to constantly look over your shoulder. So do whatever you can this at the end of the month to give yourself that peace where you don't have to look over your shoulder. Libra. This card was resistant too, but okay, I'll turn over. The underbelly, I heard. Doesn't want to show its belly, underbelly. So someone does feel very vulnerable. There's a lot about fences, boundaries, keeping something out. I don't know, you might really be on your guard here. You might be genuinely worried about something. That's a very specific scenario though, and I don't want to go into specifics in a general reading because I don't want to give people the wrong advice. I do have private readings available, just saying. So the Eight of Swords though is about unfinished business, and it's like now that you feel more secure and you've set up these parameters and you're carving out that time to prioritize what you need to do, you're able to finish these things that you couldn't finish before. You're able to like look at that rough draft or that to-do list or those notes. And I actually saw something, because it seems like in this month you're learning about facing things head on versus procrastinating or holding off. And what was I going to say? Oh. Why write the to-do list in the first place? Why not just do the thing as you're writing it down so that you don't have this like heavy reminder hanging over you? So maybe a little shift in your routine as well, seeing your power in the day and just like tackling things little bit by little bit so that they feel less overwhelming. Oh, cutting free. Cutting free. Wherever you feel stuck, at the mercy of someone else or at the mercy of time, I heard. Ace of Swords, cutting yourself free. That brilliant idea, that freedom, that excitement for new ideas. There's a contract for some of you, a new beginning, a new business venture. With Lovers and Ace of Swords, there is a big promise. You are asked to give your signature. A lot of you could be finally getting the resources that you need to finish something or progress further. You could be signing up for something. There could actually be a need to, some of you are getting diagnosed with something and that sets you free. There's a minor surgery for some of you, could be elective for a lot of you, something very minor. But there is this releasing of your bondage. There's a releasing of your bondage, cutting yourself free. You kind of feel like, and pardon me, but this is what it feels like a witch at the stake. Misunderstood. Persecuted. That punishment ends. I'm hearing also, though, that depriving yourself of something, like removing yourself from, I heard distraction, impurities, leads to the answer. It's weird. I'm actually seeing a static television screen, a very old television from the 1970s. One of those big cubes that sat on the floor, and the screen is static, but the Ace of Swords, just the sword, is flashing like this. So through the static, the answer comes. But you have to remain true to your vision, right? And even if it can't happen as fast as you want, you might be putting pressure on yourself to have the answers or have something finished. Just keep that vision, keep the goal. Remember why you do this, affirm it every day to yourself, and you will be able to grab hold of that sword. So Libra, I will leave that there. I hope you have a wonderful month. And if you would like a private reading, I'm available. And I also take donations. If you'd like to donate, that would be so appreciated. My website is below. What can I say? Let that fire burn bright. Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your February 2024 tarot reading. My name's Wendy. I am doing just fine, and I hope you are too. Scorpio, I get the impression this is a judgment-themed month in the sense that you get a second chance at something or you have to do something a second time. Knight of Cups. So we're looking at the beginning of the month first. Knight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Three of Swords. Very Love Witch vibe. Sorry. The card existed before that film, but gosh, I've been wanting to watch that lately. Okay, so beginning of the month looks a little challenging. It looks like you've had to abandon a creative project, or you're feeling very differently about something that you had high hopes for. Or this could be someone doing this to you. It feels like there's just such a dramatic change of emotion, or you put your heart on your sleeve and you're feeling very vulnerable. You're feeling exposed. It's like you feel seen. You kind of got caught up in the emotion of a moment. So I don't know if you said something or if you, I don't really need to explain, and something you're left feeling a little bit vulnerable and kind of exposed. There is a need for some kind of, you're like searching for the meaning of this. It's like, why? I hear you asking, actually I'm hearing the song Lucky by Britney Spears. And that idea that like, if I have everything that I wished for, everything that's supposed to fulfill me, why do I still feel sad? Or why do I still feel heartbreak? Why is there still this emptiness? Like there's something in your soul that is currently hungry. Your reading is filling me with a lot of really interesting but like innocent kind of visuals to tell maybe a heavier story. Like I'm seeing a little, like a puppet monster that's wanting to, like a cookie monster or something, eating. He's hungry. There's a part of your soul that's hungry. Bake some cookies. Comfort yourself. You're trying to, there's a flow, but the horse can only take you so far, and you're gonna have to get off the horse and walk with your own feet, because the horse cannot fit. Your chariot, your vessel, as the bus goes by, cannot fit through the gates, cannot fit through the entrance, so you have to leave something you previously relied on. You have to leave it at the gate. I sense a lot of fifth house activity for you. Playfulness, games, fun, adventure, risk. In the name of love, perhaps. I know a lot of you are hopeless romantics. But you have to leave this horse at the gate and walk by foot, and it's good, I'm hearing, to, at first you're going to feel vulnerable, but it's good to stretch your legs. You're placing something on a monument, honoring a space, honoring there's a marker of where something happened. And you are visiting and you're laying flowers or you're giving an offering. I see in the beginning of the month there's at the boundary, you want to give an offering. And I'm seeing Persephone, I'm seeing the High Priestess. When we go into these new lands, through these doorways, there's always a guardian at those entrances, an archetype typically. And so you want to ask for protection from that guardian. You want to ask guidance and invoke them. And they are watching over you. You are protected from harm. But Prince Charming has abandoned his where is Snow White? The energy you went looking for something, you go looking for something, and it has moved. You go to visit someone and they've moved. You go to look for something, it's gone. There's something that you previously used to visit and revisit is gone. And I kind of see you like blowing a kiss or doing something symbolic, or I don't want to use the word superstitious, but there's a symbolism to this little gesture that you... Is this my own imagination? Because I want to cry. And I hate when I do this to myself. Okay, let's go into the middle of the month. So that requires a lot of healing. You're kind of going now into the middle of the month with this. That's why the cavity is there. It feels a little bit empty. It feels vulnerable, exposed, like I've just put my heart on my sleeve by trying to show up, but the other half didn't meet me, like that other half, right? That magnetism thing. Ace of Swords. Okay, you're feeling a little more clear-headed now. The clouds are clearing, and you can pull the swords out of your heart. It's time to leave pain behind. Leave a symbol of your pain behind. You don't have to carry your pain with you to make you deep or interesting or spiritual. We all have scars and things that we've healed from that are part of our story, but it doesn't have to be the only story that you tell. You seem to be writing a new story as we move into the middle of the month. Four of Pentacles. You're a little more self-protective now. And the King of Pentacles. So some of you could be getting a new job. You could be signing a contract with a new company. There could be an employer here. You might be... It's kind of like you return home and you settle back in and you go under your favorite blanket and you feel protected and comforted, and then everything feels right again in in your kingdom. Everything feels right again. For some of you, the money's coming in, abundance is increasing, but I am seeing beautiful, fine fabrics, and I'm seeing you potentially moving into a home for a long time. This is where you'll settle. It's a place with a view. There seems to be some beautiful greenery or potential for a garden. Saving your money, making some kind of plan, having an idea but keeping it to yourself until it is fully flourished. There's somebody here who really opens to you in a way that they don't open to others. And there's kind of a question, or I guess a theme across this reading that really looks at how much we need and seeing the value in what we have. Toward the end of the month, Scorpio, end of the month for Scorpio, Two of Swords. The gate is shut. Is this where you return to your horse? Or did the horse already walk home? Nine of Swords. It could just be that you have the Ace, the Two, and the Three of Swords. So you're pulling these swords out of your heart by the end of the month. One of them is for what you think, your ideas, your clarity, your new beginnings, your vow, remembering your vow. And the other two are used to protect yourself with. Scorpio, end of February. The Nine of Pentacles. I heard, where is she? There's like a mission to find somebody. Does this person want to be found? There's a lot of decisions to make in a short amount of time at the end of this month. You can do it. I think you might doubt your ability to rely on yourself or how much this will take, but you can do it. You know that you can. I see you settling into a place by yourself, or you at least get a space to yourself, like a studio or a separate bedroom or something that is your own. And you can feel at home there. You decorate it the way you want. You set it up. It's like this beautiful garden that's entirely yours. I heard, I don't want to talk about it. You're sharpening your knife. You're sharpening your knife. So you can cut more clearly, cut clearly from, you need to cut yourself from something. It's going to be hard to say no. But feelings change. Remember at the beginning of the month, the feelings changed. You can't deny that you feel this way. And the only way that you can get revenge right now is to shut the door, say no, and begin to shave away, trim away, something also that is carving, could be therapeutic for you, something with carving or cutting out. business looks good by the end of the month, but like I said, you may have to make a lot of decisions. And some of you, even though you have to shut something out, it still weighs on you. But the day is very different from the night. And that's the case for a lot of people. So how can we balance that nighttime self with the daytime self? Routine, exercise, boundaries. That sounds very Saturnian, though, very strict. Where is the beautiful flow that we need from water? I don't know, does your water flow more freely when it has a shape? You have that exoskeleton. You tend to build towers around things in your life. So maybe the answer is yes. But maybe that's something you want to explore this month. How can my waters flow in this rigid structure? And then what needs to change? I mean, the secret to a healthy garden is not to let things grow out of control. You have to regularly trim, deadhead, harvest, so that the energy goes to where it's needed and where it will yield a result. So right now you have to go through your garden, the garden of your life, and get rid of things that are zapping energy. I don't think it's easy, but there's something clearly that you have to clear out. You kind of want to focus more on outdoor space than indoor stuff or material inside things. At the beginning of the month, you like, oh, I don't know if I have a chance. And then you feel a little more hopeful toward the middle of the month. Okay, I think that there's a good point here. I think there's something that I can hold on to. But then I see you refusing to interact or say something, give it away. Why don't we clarify something for you quickly? Show me this Nine of Swords, a card of advice for the Nine of Swords. Maybe your routine is changing because you're becoming self-employed. You have strength. So in this darkness of night, when you can't sleep or you're worrying about things or trying to solve all these problems at once, invoke your inner strength, your heart. What does your heart say? Let the heart speak. What's best for the long term? How can I connect to my higher self? What does my higher self say? Like that beautiful voice that comes in and soothes you, like listening to a guided meditation or something that's very peaceful. Maybe also a pet. For me, I've accepted that some nights I just can't sleep. Like I'll wake up really early and I'll go down to the couch and just kind of rest there, and if my cat comes to join me, I can fall asleep easily, so he's always a comfort to me. And if I can't sleep, then I just roll with the energy. I work on something that interests me and I'm making a productive use of my time. I don't really like watching television or movies in the middle of the night. For me, that quiet time is sacred, and it's best used for tapping into the subconscious, for feeling creative, because there's no noise, there's no distraction, there's no lighting except for maybe a candle or a soft lamp. So it's very soft and it's beautifully reflective, and there's so much rich ingredient and rich soil in that nighttime. What do you need to say no to or tune out? The Sun and the Three of Wands. So you just have to go into hiding for now. You don't want to be seen. Something about your identity or an announcement or a new beginning. I do see a ribbon cutting. I do see something that is like a pair of scissors cutting a ribbon. Welcome in. So for those of you starting your own business, that's awesome. Just keep the faith and keep going with your vision. Connect to the community and always show your best work. If you're uncertain about something, don't worry so much about a deadline, but worry more about the quality of the product. So like, for example, when I do these readings, maybe they're not ready a week before the new month starts. Maybe they're not ready the day before, but they're ready on the first day of the month, for example. So it's late, but it's better quality because it's not rushed. Does that make sense? And that shows a better flow with the energy too, because it's here and now. You have to stop waiting for the sun to come to you. There's too much, I don't know, there's too much spotlight on you. You have to cool the lights or cool the pressure, the visibility. Maybe just like not speaking or not posting for a while, just letting things sort of So you might be really waiting for someone. It's like, again, that horse that's waiting at the gate, like, are you coming back to me? There's something about that horse has departed from the rider, or the rider has departed from the horse. And I don't know if they reconnect right now. This is just 1 month. So I don't know if they reconnect right now. But you can find your own dignity and strength and really relish in the life around you, your home, your work. Put pride into what you do, and you're going to start showing up differently again. And you're going to start to attract new things when you show up that way too. You'll attract things and people that are on this frequency with you. So, Scorpio, that was deep. Thank you for letting me read for you. I hope it was helpful. And if you would like to order a private reading with me, my website is linked below. Scorpio, I will talk to you soon. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your February 2024 reading. My name's Wendy. I'm feeling good, and I hope you are too. Ace of Wands. So we're going to look at the beginning of the month, middle of the month, and then end of the month. Okay, wow. You've really struck a match. Something new is beginning. You feel hopeful. There's some kind of new energy. Something is turning the wheel. And the Six of Wands. Okay, so there's a promotion for a lot of you. There's some kind of reward relating to your work, or there's a really good idea. I see a lot of you making connections that will benefit you in the year to come. So if some of you have felt less inspired or less energetic, there seems to be more chemistry, more attraction, more action, more confidence, and finally some vitality that allows us to be the person we know we are, but sometimes the atmosphere just makes it so heavy. So you're kind of looking at Jackal in the eyes and defeating it. I'm coming up out of the underworld. I'm done here. It's over. A new chapter begins. And I'm rolling with that flow because it feels good. And I know that if I try to resist this change, I'm only going to hinder my own progress. So I'm really letting that wheel turn, and I'm putting the past in the past, and I'm moving forward. Now, a lot of things could be changing in your life. The Wheel of Fortune can be heavy. It can mean the end of a career, the end of a relationship, the end of an era of, who you are. This is your identity. That's very much a part of this. But a new one begins, and you're going to find your way. You've been away somehow, and you're returning now, and you were celebrated. People are happy to see you. For those of you who've been looking for an answer or some kind of health action relating to your health, I feel like that's kind of coming together this month. You might get some answers, or the healing is starting. You're starting to see the benefits. So your vitality's back. Okay, show me February for Sagittarius, the Hierophant, middle of the month now, the Hierophant. So there's a significant event or gathering of people for like a party or some kind of cause. Some of you could be taking a class, some of you could be teaching the King of Cups, and I'm also seeing a person with a big, solid body. Great stamina, great strength, solid body. I feel like this friend that's showing up in the middle of the month is you really trust them. There's something very warm and jovial about them, but they're also very serious. They know what they believe in, they know what matters to them, and they speak freely and passionately about their truth. And this could be you, the Sagittarian way. You are the teacher, the philosopher of the zodiac, and you have no qualms telling it like it is. You are potentially deciding that a class or a new certification could improve your career. And so you feel good about this decision. It could be relating to teaching others or healing others or making others feel good somehow, or it just makes you feel good. But there's something about joviality, joy, a full belly, feeling heard. So you might be signing up for a class. I really feel like you belong, and you're holding your ground. You look strong. You look really strong in the middle of the month. And the Six of Pentacles, there's a chance for karmic justice. And this is why you're holding so true. It's important for you to be surrounded by people who you trust and who have your back, who you feel safe with. And I think you've really reached a beautiful point of receiving the rewards of everything that you have worked for. When we talk about karmic justice, we talk about prior efforts now yielding results. Okay, so that is in terms of energy, what you're attracting, limitations versus freedom, the love frequency that you are tapping into, that you're connected to, that you're vibing with. That's all karmic justice. The lessons related to past actions. I also see that some of you may be wanting to just make a little bit of a payment or an investment in a class or a little service or maybe therapy. Someone who can perhaps work on your back. Maybe there's a payment for a service to help you heal. again, that's all good energy. You invested into yourself. It will come back to you. You see the rewards of investing in yourself. So you don't have to worry about saving money or holding on to money in the way that, oh, I don't know if I can justify that expense. It will actually benefit you. Same with taking this class or paying someone to come to your event and make it more special. You're getting paid, you're paying others. There's a nice monetary exchange as well. But also, like, where is it give and take? Where is it equal and where is it not? Where are people only showing up when they want something from you? I think you know that by now. You're very generous. But it doesn't feel like there's karmic debt here. It feels like beautiful rewards and beautiful justice and finally feeling aligned with the right opportunities, the right people. You feel good. You feel pretty good with where you're at. You're stable. Even amidst the waters of change, even amidst a great emotional environment or atmosphere, you are doing very well. Whatever it is, there's an investment in yourself and it's really paying off. Now at the end of the month, we've got the Four of Pentacles, the King, and the Two of Pentacles. So the end of the month is very focused on your finances and your material life in terms of perhaps your status, your job, your money, your accolades, your foods, your clothing. You might be worried that your finances change at the end of this month. I don't know if there's an influence that you feel is affecting your finances. Let me get a clarifier. My tiny tarot. Please clarify the Four of Pentacles. What am I holding on to? Oh, the Queen of Wands. So you could be feeling a little possessive, perhaps over a lover, protective, or maybe somebody's ability to be physical is kind of changed by, there could have been a recent knock to their confidence, and that may affect your physical intimacy. As long as this person can feel safe, they'll be able to grow and feel vibrant again. Some of you will have to be careful that you don't just lash out as a means of, when your pride is hurt, like you want to kind of just observe, like more of this King of Cups, just observe. Because you want to be mindful of where you're backing yourself into a corner, because there is like a deep wound there that kind of might resurface based on a perceived competition or a perceived show off, or there's a big personality that could somewhat threaten your own confidence, but it shouldn't. Okay, show me the Two of Pentacles. There's a lot of sensuality in the end of the month too. King of Pentacles, very sensual, all in the physical pleasures, like wearing lingerie and making a beautiful charcuterie platter for a date night or something. There's something very sensual, quality, romantic. Oh my, okay. Two of Pentacles is clarified by Death and the Ten of Wands. So something is exhausting you and you're probably split between too many things right now. You're trying to manage it all. And maybe that's what this is here. Your pride is stopping you from letting something go. It's like, but this is mine, or if I let go of this, I'll never pick it up again, or someone else will do it. That's always a hard thing because it happens inevitably with someone else may come pick it up or do it instead. But there are a few or one true focus for you at the end of the month, that if you drop these other less important things that feel more like work or feel more like burden or feel like the energy never quite jives, there is a necessity to let that go, release it, accept that it's done, because someone's trying to pour from an empty cup. They're trying to draw on energy that is not there. And it's actually pulling energy from the thing in front of them that's really good. So do what you have to do, finish everything up by the end of the month. But I think that going into March, this thing will be dropped. And then you'll be able to focus on that one pentacle, that one thing that you're really known for, that's actually bigger, but it may be more spaced out, but it's bigger. Remember, we talked about Jupiter. Like, Jupiter's obviously your ruling planet, but also very strong influence in this reading. Expansion and pulling in a lot of influence, right? Jupiter, the planet, always pulling things into its orbit. The planet is still growing. So it has a lot of power, and it's always growing, and it will never stop. It just can't help it. So because you have that magnetic quality, you have a lot of people asking for your time, asking for your resources somehow. And I just think that, excuse me, a lot of people may want to work with you, and the end of the month just seems like you kind of have to really focus on something that is more established and quality, right? Remember, quality. So I think we can leave that there. It looks like a beautiful month of achievement, so I want to say well done. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, my website is below. I also take donations through my website if you would like to donate to the channel. Until I see you again, I wish you the very best. Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your February 2024 tarot reading. My name's Wendy. I'm doing very well, and I hope that you are too. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. We're looking at the beginning of the month right now. You're thinking about moving. Investing, maybe looking for a bit of a slower life. There's a contract, partnership, potentially Three of Pentacles. So you're really learning the ins and outs of something. You're learning the details, the procedures, how something is done. Some of you could be teaching this as well. But it seems like something has to be finished, and I'm going to say it takes 6 months. So let's give you to maybe your full moon in the middle of the year or shortly thereafter. Shortly after your full moon, there seems to be a project that's finished. And I think that if you've experienced a slowdown in finances or energy, then just looking at the patterns and looking at the structure, analyzing it, and then maybe making some changes, because you're ready to do things a little differently and you want to work with the best, okay? So make sure that you are going for quality. When you reach out or you think about where you're moving, you're looking for the most fertile soil with beautiful architecture. I kind of like I'm seeing a medallion, or you want to put your name, or you want to put something up on a wall. There's a piece that fits. You could be part of a very niche or obscure group. Or something that is not open to many. Now, I kind of also see you really wanting to reach out to someone who you think is the best of the best. And there's a shyness, but you've been observing for a while, and I think you've established enough on your end. You feel secure with where you're at, and there's this shy approach. It's like, I see that you almost want to fill it with, or like cushion it. You don't have to cushion it. But you want to work with the best of the best, or you want to learn from the best. So there's some kind of project that's wrapping up, that's finishing. You're showing people how you did it, how you reached that conclusion. So you're teaching, your leadership is important here. Your process is important. And you seem to excel very well at this. You seem to do very well at this. I'm seeing you kind of focusing on the knees. Actually, Capricorn does rule the knees and the bones and the teeth, but I see you specifically, something about movement or health, something about the knees in particular. So I don't know, physio, massage therapy, maybe your own knees. You might be slowed down by your body, and it's because you could be lacking these essential minerals. So do focus on your calcium and magnesium intake. But I think you're realizing that you are at your best when you work at a bit of a slower pace. It's sure and steady, because you don't want to reach burnout. You don't want to like go head first and go hard, and then you burn out for a week, and then you go hard for 3 weeks, and then you burn out. You want to keep it, you're working on making things a little more consistent for the best result. And I think that this really works for you. Also, maybe working in a group of 3 could be beneficial. So moving into the middle of the month, we have the Lovers. That's nice because Valentine's Day is coming up. But this is where that contract maybe comes in, or working with those other people. There's a nice partnership established. You seem to be in paradise in the middle of the month. And it's very open and flowing and fruitful. You have found the right place. You found something that resonates with you. You feel like you are a tree and your roots have always been here, even if it's an entirely new place. You feel like your roots were always there waiting for you to come and attach to them. I see that you are divinely protected. I'm seeing you really creating from your soul, giving your best work, because it's coming from this really honest place. It's like there needs to be a plan. Okay, this is what I want. This is how it needs to be done. Okay, I hear you. This is how I'm going to approach it. Come and look at my progress so far. You're ready to ask for someone to evaluate you. Strength. So the middle of the month is key. It's significant. There's a lot. I don't know if I want to say changing, but cementing, becoming more permanent. Do stay true to this. Do hold on. Something might get difficult because you're reaching a peak moment where you really have to do your best work or impress somebody. Just make sure that you might be tempted to throw it all out, or just like, this is the time where you establish that permanence. You establish that you finish something, you follow through. You don't let anything distract you. You stay true to the goal. You may have to be patient with a love interest or with someone. They might, I don't know, make you like almost angry or impatient, and you kind of have to understand where they're coming from and understand that they're often in these scenarios, there is something that we mirror to the other person. There's something that they're mirroring back to us as well. So it's important to recognize that what they exhibit and what is frustrating you is most likely something that you also need to heal within yourself. Like, let's say you're frustrated with your partner because they like to people please, they don't know how to say no, or you feel maybe like they put other people before you. So what part of you either expects more of the attention than they can give? Like, there's something about expectation and understanding and patience in the middle of the month. I also see you making music or spending time with friends. It seems to be a little bit of a harvest season, right? We talked about the celebration of finishing this project and being evaluated and doing really well. Or maybe you're just kind of looking back and, wow, report cards are done, or, oh, we finished this, like, let's have a drink, let's have some wine. There's definitely celebrations, and like-minded people are with you. And again, the strength of building something permanent, building something long-term, believing in it and seeing it through. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen instantly. If you're trying to establish a relationship with someone, or you're trying to apply to something or get in somewhere, I don't feel like it's instant. You really have to believe and persevere. Now, at the end of the month, Four of Swords, the job is done, I can rest. And I think notes are really important too, referencing your notes or taking notes, journaling, writing things down, reading a book. That key element of language and communication is so important. And potentially feedback. Someone could be asking for feedback. You might be reading feedback. I'm seeing like a long email or something. There's a big celebration. So rely on your friends, get together with people, throw ideas at them. And because you're in a casual setting, like the importance of joy, the importance of community with your best friends, your best trusted people. You have the Two of Cups. So the end of the month could represent, Taurus had this in the middle of the month. So if you see a Taurus in the middle of the month, you're kind of catching what they had. You might have a little bit of a minor illness or reaction to something where you have to take a couple days off because your body does not like something. Your body's not reacting well to something. It could be, I don't know if it's food, if it's something in the atmosphere that you're smelling, if it's a person, there's something kind of toxic around you. So you want to look at, there's a need to really look at details. So you have to also keep a list now of what you're eating and what you're doing and where you go, because there are some allergens or there's some toxicity that you want to look back and go, oh, this is the culprit, right? You have to really rely on those notes. I'm kind of seeing two people who talk behind somebody's back. I don't know, I'm getting a weird feeling because these friends that are all together, then it's like one goes to sleep and the other two are kind of standing. Do you feel like a third wheel? Are you trying to set someone up? Is there like two people that want to date and then you kind of go to bed to let them connect? Or do you just feel, or are there two people that have negative intentions, or that's that more of that energetic frequency, right? Like what we attract. Lovers is that authentic part of you that you don't have to suppress anymore, that beautiful part of you that makes you you. Whereas the Two of Cups is when we welcome the influence of something else and we begin to change because of it. Our body chemistry changes, we change. Be mindful of how much influence something can have over you. This can also relate to substances like alcohol or other party substances. You might be more susceptible and sensitive as we move into Pisces season. So please make sure that you're checking the ingredients, you're knowing exactly what's going into something and what the expectations are. I think it's important for you to analyze details in the beginning of the month and all through the month as you agree to things. But there's a focus on health. Okay, and one more. Someone could be telling you a story, perhaps of their own interaction with this. Maybe you're the listener, or they're writing it out to you. One more card for Capricorn, end of the month, Ace of Wands. Good, so your energy does come back. This is kind of like burning away the, I don't know, some of you might have black mold in your windows, so you want to bleach that out. Maybe wipe it down first, wear gloves, wear protective gear, wipe it down, let it dry, bleach it, let it dry. There's a need to like burn something clean, purify something. But there's also this reinvigoration. So your health comes back, you feel good again, you're upright, your back is healthy, you're strong, you're motivated, you get this inspiration, your energy's back, it feels good. There's definitely a strong attraction to someone at the end of the month, like a lot of sexual chemistry. It's all in the chemistry. Chemistry could be a big, I don't know, there's a theme around chemistry at the end of the month. Medicine, chemistry, healing, different, I don't know, homeopathy, something. A new healing method that gives you, like, it's going to be a bit of an adjustment period where you might feel kind of worse at first and then immediately better as you adapt. But I really think that your body's telling you something at the end of the month. So great sex for some of you, toxicity for some of you, but there's a nice resolution. There's a beautiful reinvigoration at the end of the month. So all in all, it looks pretty good. It looks like an important month. Stamina, energy. And it's like once you finally stop working, once you finally sit down to rest, that's kind of when your health might change. I've known people that like that, like they're workaholics. They work hard and they are busy. And the second they stop, they get sick, because their body's not used to rest. So my candles are burning out, so I better move along, get some new ones. Have a wonderful month, Capricorn. If you want to book a private reading with me, my website is below. And I will see you soon. Have a great day. Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for February 2024. Happy birthday. My name's Wendy, and I'm feeling pretty good today. I hope you are too. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. Let's see if this candle can last to the end of the reading. I've got to go replace my candles. Aquarius, beginning of the month, Four of Wands. There's a celebration. You're setting a new foundation, celebrating it, decorating perhaps, an altar, a ritual, Knight of Swords. Energy's changing. There's a change of direction. Things could really pick up for you. Things are going to get busy. Expect extra communication. Expect a change of direction, a change of mind. You might have to sleep on something. Yeah, King of Swords, and then make your decision. So some of you might be up for a job performance review as well, or just having a big conversation that's kind of been you've needed to have this conversation. There's something that's been needing to be said. But yeah, sleep on it, because this decision is, you might be like going head first or acting on, feeling like you have to act with urgency, when actually you can just consult a professional or consult the rules, consult the truth, the way that you will find the truth. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I've got hiccups all of a sudden. I just drank a bunch of coffee. In order to reach this truth, you can either speak to a professional who has access to truth, like a lawyer or some kind of professional who does this every day and is an expert in their field, and they know what you need to fix something. They know how to explain it. They know how to fix it. It's really important to rely on a professional. I do see a little bit of chaos entering the home. I see some kind of energy around the home that it just feels a little chaotic, or there could be an argument, or maybe there's just this feeling of being unsettled because we need to talk about something. I heard some of you are getting a puppy, or you're getting a new pet, or someone adds a lot of energy and chaos, like a child, like maybe you're watching a toddler and maybe some of you have a toddler. It seems like the beginning of the month is, again, that change of direction though, because you're initially you want to act with urgency, but you really want to sleep on this and talk to someone who knows what they're talking about, and then sleep on the advice they've given you for a night or 2 or 3, and then you'll be like, oh, that is actually what I should follow. Going into the middle of the month, you have the Ace of Swords. So there's a lot on your mind, a lot to be said, a lot to make official. Middle of the month, there is a contract signing or some kind of vow or promise or terms of agreement, I heard. Queen of Wands. I heard, there's a beautiful fire sign friend who really wants to help you, wants to take care of you. There's this generosity, this warmth that encourages you and shows you. This kind of makes me want to cry. This person is so warm that they show you, like, it's okay, you're going to be fine, but you have value here. You don't have to be a victim of that circumstance anymore. Live well. You deserve to have good things. Like, this is someone who can really pump you up. And as an aspect of yourself, so confident, so beautiful, sexy. Maybe some of you are attracted to a Queen of Wands, or you are the Queen of Wands. But this is also that feminine sexuality, sometimes the female reproductive organs as well. And so with, excuse me, with the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords, I am seeing perhaps a doctor. Maybe there's a test you need to get, or like a physical. Some of you may just need to go for a minor health procedure just to, check in and make sure everything's okay. Your sexuality is very important. Middle of the month, we have Valentine's Day, so... But this requires your confidence, okay? That something is really brightening your day. There's an offer, there's some kind of new opportunity that feels brightening. And you might feel confident that you want to put the pen to paper. You want to write something, you want to reach out, you want to communicate. You might want to start a blog. You might want to start an email newsletter, something like this. A written communication is a good way for you to spread your influence. As we talk about spreading influence, there's just wax everywhere. And in the olden days, I didn't mind. I let wax go everywhere. But these days, I find that I'm not as fond of a witchy mess. So we're just going to stop that before it completely takes over my canvas. And that's interesting because we just talked about, oh, look, wow, the Four of Pentacles. So there is kind of this smothering of a flame. Who had this? Was it Scorpio? Or Sagittarius. Sagittarius had this for the end of the month. They had the Four of Pentacles clarified by the Queen of Wands. So I saw that as a little bit of a possessive quality over someone's beauty, over someone's, I don't know. Someone is either lacking confidence or they need to let something go free. But as I just kind of smothered that flame or, stopped it from getting out of control, that's kind of what's happening here, like the cutting of the flame and the stopping of the wax in order to control the situation. Something that starts out with good intentions, fire can sometimes spread, it can get out of control, and there's a need to kind of smother that or stamp it out a little bit. Someone's ego. Let's talk about the shadow, I guess, of the Queen of Wands. Maybe somebody's ego causes them to show off a little bit, or you might just have to remind someone and go, well, hey, I'm not in that same place as you, so I know that you're just kind of, feels a little bit like you're bragging. But again, the Queen of Wands wants you to see that you can feel that way too. Body language, I'm hearing something about body language. I'm seeing a dancer and a toe kind of swinging out like this, sweeping. Some of you may want to go out more and there's a partner or someone who kind of hides in the corner. Some of you have a cat. You get a pet, you get a new pet, and initially there's a lot of chaos, and then they kind of hide in the corner, and you really have to spend some time establishing trust with this pet or this person. They don't want to shine anymore. Queen of Wands doesn't want to shine anymore. But the Queen of Wands needs to know that they both shine if, the beautiful Killer song, Read My Mind, I don't shine if you don't shine. So you both are wearing this crown. King of Swords, Queen of Wands, nice fire, air, balance, complementary, fueling the fire. Let's clarify this Four of Pentacles. Is your best friend moving away? Is someone kind of going away, or there's a distance between the two of you? Somebody needs to heal first before they can open up. Now, the Queen of Wands is very perceptive. She sees exactly what's going on, and she wants truth. She wants everything to be out in the open. Let's talk about this. She's going to urge you, and again, this is someone else maybe for you, or you're doing this to someone. They're going to urge you and make you feel safe. Like, it's okay, you can talk about this with me. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I love you. It's okay. You're safe. I care about you. You can come out of hiding. You don't have to be afraid of me just because I'm a little vibrant. And so over time, there's this establishment of trust. And we begin to have the healing conversation because somebody really wants to say something, but they don't know how to say it. And the Queen of Wands is like, you got to tell your story. Everyone needs to know what happened. You deserve to heal. You deserve to be heard. Let it out. Like, she knows the importance of expression. And maybe it's not through talking in a classical, clinical, therapeutic session. Maybe it's through dance. Maybe it's through yoga. Maybe it's through some kind of body movement of opening and facilitating flow, healing conversations, moving towards sanctuary. I feel that the end of the month is very healing for you. Some of you are maybe turning 40, or you're in your 40s and there's a new definition of beauty. End of the month, we have 6 of Pentacles. There's a simplification from the beginning of the month to the end. At first it's like, I'm charging in on my horse, and then it's like, well, I don't need the horse. I can just be me with what I have to say. And then the message itself stands alone. So it's the messenger is out of the way. The person, like the way it got to you, the person who said it, it's just really in the message itself. Maybe you get an anonymous message or something. End of the month. The trail leads to the vessel. The trail leads to the star. There's some kind of trail. Evidence of what was before. Ace of Pentacles, material evidence or some kind of path. But when we seek sanctuary, this is your favorite place. A beautiful space of safety. I see a new financial beginning as well. A lot of you are resisting temptation to spend. You're disciplining yourself. You're saving your money so that you can pay for something or invest in some kind of service. You want to make some kind of investment. It is a financial investment, paying for something, and it will come back to you. There's a beautiful karmic retribution I'm hearing at the end of the month. So whatever you need to pay out right now will come back to you. Some of you could be getting your tax refunds. There's a new financial beginning. And the 9 of Wands. Okay, so I can tell that there is something from the past that's still, despite all the safety and reassurance in this reading, there is this energy of checking over the shoulder. And so Scorpio kind of had this too. There could be a balancing, there's a simplifying, there's an understanding. I see that you're still a little wounded from the past where you've tried to invest, but because there's so much in this reading about what each half can do, now you're seeing another half that can fully receive and is able to reciprocate according to your needs or your wants, your desires, to be recognized. I think security is important. I see you investing in security, programming passwords, physical boundaries or security, maybe a camera, or I think this is around your house or a project that you're setting up, because like I said, you're coming into this month setting the stage for something really big. You've got this big fiery vision, but you have to kind of keep it to yourself for now until you reach the finish line. Then you can finally reveal it. But just one last thing you have to do is pay for someone to kind of reinforce it and strengthen the security. Some of you are kind of shy. You don't know how to receive this. It's like, what? This is paying off? What do you mean? People want to hear this, or they want to take part? Like, there's kind of this amazement and this, are you sure? There's a little bit of shyness. It's humble. But then you have the King of Swords and Queen of Wands cheering you on. Okay, Nine of Wands clarified by the Page of Wands and the King of Cups. So start to talk about things, start to walk, start to adventure. Pay attention to how you express yourself physically. Like, you want to start introducing yourself to people. You are starting to carve a name for yourself. And this is therapeutic as well. But learning how to message, how to create the message, how to communicate something, how to express yourself, and feeling good about those decisions. Like, you want to express yourself from a place of confidence, certainty, but with charisma. You don't want to just be arrogant. You have to have some kind of charisma, but really speak with authority. And you can do that by expressing the joy that it gives you, but also the knowledge. You kind of want to possess somebody, but you have to be careful that you don't overdo it because you could scare them off. You're worried, though, that you're like, if I don't claim them or possess them, then what are they doing, or what will they do? Like, will they run away from me? There is a little bit of that fear from the past. Something in your past has sort of scarred you or wounded you. But really, there's conversation, there's a new house, there's a new property, there's a new beginning, there's a new love interest, there's new energy. Like, it's all very good. It's all very promising. So just believe that you deserve it. Okay, well, I will leave that there. If you'd like to book a personal private reading with me, my website is below. You can click the link and I offer a few different readings. I'll be back in the middle of the month for mid-month check-ins for all the signs. And if you want to donate to my channel, I also have that linked in my website too. Thank you everyone who has. I love what I do. And until I see you again, be well. Hi Pisces. Welcome to your February 2024 reading. Happy early birthday. My name's Wendy, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. I certainly am right here in my corner. The star. Pisces, beginning of February. Six of Pentacles. Beautiful. So things are starting to, I'm seeing important connections, friendships, groups, supportive groups coming together in purpose, uniting under a single idea or purpose. I'm seeing help from community, joining of community. Somebody's getting paid for their visibility, or their visibility is increasing, which leads to greater financial reward. I'm also seeing an energy that gives, heals, cleanses the wounds. There's such an important cleansing for you in the beginning of this month that is repairing a lot of damage. It's refilling the gaps. It's piecing together the things, like wherever something was missing, the missing links. Now everything is starting to connect. I see great friends. I mean, just get-togethers with, relying on your circle, your closest people that lift you up. It's important to connect socially at the beginning of this month. And maybe you want to test something on people, or you want to make a new potion for them to try, or some kind of drink or tonic or something nice that I'm kind of seeing actually like a tester party where you have some people that just kind of, maybe your friends, like they casually kind of show up and they test something that you want to launch, and or it's like an art show that has sort of a private opening where it's only exclusive guests, like friends and family first. Let's celebrate tonight. Karmic justice. You're starting to see rewards of previous efforts, previous actions, previous choices. The rewards of those things are coming back to you now. Balance is being restored. Finances are improving. There's hope. And it's kind of like you put yourself out there and you start to see something works, it pays off, somebody's interested, and then that little first sale or that first hint, that first bite really inspires you to give more. So you're filling your cup. These people, your social network is filling your cup. There's greater finances. Something is really filling your cup, and you're feeling healed. You're feeling hopeful. You're connected to your purpose. Strength. There's a place for all of us, says the star. And there are different ways of doing things. Everyone can have what they need, says the star. This is a new world that we're building. This is a new world we're investing in. The middle of the month, you have strength, so it's requiring some maintenance, some permanence, perseverance. So hold true. This is invoking inner strength, courage, protection. I heard mama bear, that protective quality. You know that you have the upper hand here, so you don't have to gloat or you don't have to use force, but you want to gently remind someone that they should be attuning to your energy. Like, you're setting the energetic tone as a leader, and you're doing this by continually in contact with channeling your higher self, channeling all your lessons, and being strengthened by this karmic justice, this balancing that's happening. That's all strengthening you and fueling you and making you stronger so that you can in turn show up. So this energy this month is very reciprocal, and it's infinite. It's of the soul. It's turning and becoming and changing and going back again and starting over and then weaving in and on itself. Middle of the month for Pisces. Patience could be needed. Or it's like you've had enough, or I've given enough. You might also have to sort of remind people of boundaries with the Strength card. Like, I'm kind of seeing this lion keeps asking for more treats, more kibbles, more more tuna, whatever. And you already had some, or you already had your share. We really are like, we're rationing this, or we're calculating it. Like, you've already had what is owed to you. So you have to learn to be frugal, or you have to learn to budget. You have to learn patience. Like, you're really teaching discipline. And so you kind of have to embody what you're teaching as well. Middle of the month for Pisces. Wow. 2 of Wands. So you are ready to expand. You're ready to share. You're ready to reach out. There could be a contract or a partnership. It's something that started as an idea, just generated through a party, through a conversation with someone, like a friend. This generates great ideas. It leads to financial reward. You're mastering your energy, and now you're starting to see, like with patience here now I can start to expand. I've really put in the work. I've really put in the time. I believed in the vision. I believed in the message, and I did it consistently. And now I'm starting to see that it's opening up and that I can maybe add one more thing, or I can go international. I can move up to the next stage. I'm ready to share this with the world. I'm ready to test this on somebody. And then the Hanged Man. Okay, so you put something out there, but you have to wait. You have to wait in the middle of the month because there's something that needs to grow, something like I'm seeing, what I'm seeing is yeast actually in a bowl of water. And, you have to let that sit. You have to give it time to rise. And then it takes form, but it does require patience, and it also requires a lot of planning, right? If you want to make pizza dough from scratch for dinner tomorrow night, you should probably make the dough in the morning, not try to start the dough when you get home from work at 5 o'clock, right? So you need to put planning into whatever this is, because it is going to take a little bit of time. And you're really putting your faith in the universe. I trust that I just need to let this go. It is what it is, because I deem it so. And so be it. And it keeps okay, hang on. I want to clarify the Two of Wands. Because I think you're supposed to wait. I think you're supposed to wait on this. The middle of the month is going to be frustrating because you have to be patient. Maybe because it's Aquarius season still, you have to wait till your birthday. Maybe there's an exciting gift someone's getting you, or an opportunity, or you're waiting for your solar return to do some energy work. But the Hanged Man too, it's like you want to reach out, you have this idea, you want to invest, but you're going to have to sit on it for just a little while. Okay, now toward the end of the month, Page of Swords, Eight of Swords, Pisces, Ace of Cups. So that big revelation will come, but I think that the end of this month shows a blessing in disguise. It shows some kind of pressure that's building, and something could get in the way right when you were ready to launch. I feel that you might be met with some kind of release. This could be characterized by a loss, or something happens a lot sooner than you thought it would. You were preparing maybe for 6 months or a year, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, it's here. Like you have no other choice but to pursue this. And how committed are you to this vision? So Saturn, I heard. So that's what I'm seeing is the more that you doubt yourself, because you seem to run into this doubt, right? Because there's a delay in the middle of the month. Something just has to be put on the back burner. It will require patience, but I think you already know that it will pay off, but it's just a matter of having that belief and patience and fortitude when something doesn't immediately go the way you hoped or saw it going. The end of the month can be characterized by research. Maybe something's not finished and you just want to do a little bit more research. Maybe looking at other examples of how it's been done before to help guide you. Now, you have to be careful with this because I see that comparing yourself to other people or looking too much at other examples can throw you off of your vision. So maybe this is why you're met with some kind of interruption, let's say, because you might, oh, well, why is it not working right away? Like, what are other people doing? What am I doing wrong? How should I structure myself more like something else, right? Because this Page of Swords can spy on people. It is a research card, it's the library card, but it can indicate that you might be delaying yourself or imprisoning yourself by looking too much at other examples. You want to go more by the truth of that feeling. And it's like finally, it's like you're resisting something, but you feel nervous. The energy's there. You're so tuned into the nuance and to subtleties and energy that you can tell when somebody's holding something in or they're nervous, and then it's like, well, we just can't continue this, or it's like you don't want to address something, but you will be forced to address it. And it's going to feel good once it all finally bursts. But you're really holding it in, and it's making you heavy, and it could be stopping you sleeping and just sort of causing more nervousness than it's worth. I think that in the beginning of the month, you're getting some good advice, and you spend the middle of the month sort of reflecting on it and thinking about it. And then you realize what you have to do, but you put it off. But at the end of the month, again, this blessing in disguise, something's been building up to this. This isn't the first time, or it's not, I don't think it's out of the blue. It's been building up, okay? And it will feel scary at first, but there will be a release of pressure, and then things will start to feel peaceful again. It's kind of like at the end of the month, you forget what your friends told you, or you forget the joy of that moment. But you have to remember what fills your cup and what will cause it to overflow. And often what causes it to overflow is by not addressing something. You might feel nervous. You might feel nervous to admit that you haven't finished something, but really, this energy is so purifying and so cleansing that I think honesty goes naturally with that, and it's very easy to just be honest, because that's when you see where the real support is. The support is false if it's coming from a lie, for lack of a better word. Why don't we get one card of advice for the end of the month? So yeah, like I said, go back to the beginning of the month and remember what fills your cup. It's funny. Tarot makes me laugh. I mean, it's like, remember? So, I guess I will leave that there. Yeah, no filler needed. Just say what it is, let the energy be pure. I hope you have a wonderful month. I hope you have a great start to your birthday season. If you would like a private reading, I'm available. My website is below. If you'd like to donate to the channel, that link is in the description box as well. It's all in my website. I'm losing my voice and I have to go buy some new candles. So Pisces, have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very soon.